Snap, ladies and gentlemen. You know what day it is. It's Saturday. You're tuned in with Living Splitscreen, episode 35. 35 weeks strong, doing this with my brother from another. Just being some amazing individuals, doing it through our passion, giving you that live, raw, and uncut energy, and just doing it for the people, because the 3 billion gamers is the goal. But with that being said, man, I do have to do some housekeeping up front with you guys. First off, let's start off by saying, shout out to the Midweek Mix-Up Collective for sponsoring Living Splitscreen and allowing us to continue to be us on a day-to-day basis, man. Hopefully y'all can hear me coming in pretty clean and everything. It looks like everything is working smoothly. Let me know if there is any problems. But not only that, a couple other housekeeping notes. Last weekend, we did do a $75 giveaway. The person that we shouted out last time did not end up hitting us up, either in the DMs or whatever the case. Apparently they weren't tuned in.
Courtesy of Country Gentleman, by the way. Gentleman
yes.
Gaming.
And that was the next one I wanted to get to. Shout out to Country Gentleman. He has been nothing but a gentleman. And we also have another fantastic giveaway for those who have been paying attention. Since we're over 400 subs, really it was 401, we are giving away, actually putting your name in the bucket for one lucky winner out of all of our subs to win that fantastic custom controller from the creative himself, Wandering Dutch. If you're not following him on Twitter, or on YouTube, definitely give him a shout, and then get in tune with him. So be on the lookout for that. That's all going to come through some point in the show, probably towards the midway point. This may end up being a shorter show, but who knows? Me and Pong, we could go 3 hours on anything. So with that being said, I got some Halo gameplay going for y'all in the background. Halo Infinite has just kind of been
What's that?
rock.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's an hilarious thing. Because for a game, my biggest thing, and I just want to put this a little bit of smoke out there, my biggest thing for a game that people said couldn't do any better, couldn't do anything different, for a game that people said was dead, an IP that people said was dead, is getting some of the most attention that Halo's probably has gotten in a long time. And there's also some things that we got to talk about on that front, right? Me and Paul like to take that RTS view. Again, I'm going to say that every time here, because it's something that I feel like it's like a creative thing. And not everybody looks at it like this. But where we take that RTS view, pull ourselves back from the world, and kind of look at those dark places that a lot of other people might not end up looking, and just give people a perspective that they may not have had today? Before. No, we're not going dark, wow, but we have to explore the dark places, give the dark our own light. Anyway,
I feel like you're talking about like Luke in Star Wars when he goes and faces off Vader in the cave.
We might. That might be the Halo situation right now, just to be honest. Anyway, we are sponsored also by Rockstar. No, I'm playing. I wish, but
or G Fuel. Hey, G Fuel, if you're out there listening, hey, pre-workout every morning. Let me know. I'll switch over.
Look, G Fuel. No, I'm already trying to come off my energy drinks. I need you guys to hit me up in the DMs. I'll try out a product tomorrow. But with that being said, I am one of your hosts, Steel Rain. I everywhere the T is a 7. With that being said, though, I have to introduce one of the most uncanny gentlemen that you can find in the podcasting space or in the gaming universe itself. I consider him as a brother from another. I also consider him just a brother overall, man. You know, a friend, dedicated gentleman, and a guy just has tons of knowledge and gives it to you in a way that not only where he gives you that passion, gives you that energy, but also keeps it live, raw, and uncut, like I like to say. My brother, Pong Steel, what's going on, my guy? How's your week been? Talk to the people. Let them know how you feeling, man.
What a strange week, brother. Hey, first of all, episode 35, Living Splitscreen. Great to see everybody here. Anybody listening in the future, I hope the future is bright, and thank you for joining us as well. Thanks. Hey, it's been a weird week, man. This is my first podcast of the week and my only podcast.
People are going to find that surprising.
This is crazy. Everybody else, I shouldn't say everybody else took time off, but because I missed Xbox Factor podcast because I had to work on the short week. So this is very strange being back in the chair here. For me, I feel like I haven't done this in months. even though it hasn't been that long. But no, it's been fantastic. Obviously, Thanksgiving this week. I hope everybody had a good one that was celebrating Thanksgiving. I hope you all, ate well, spent time with family and friends, got to see some loved ones after the crazy past couple years that we've had. I know that's been something that's a lot of people have been looking forward to as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but I did. Obviously, the wife and I had a nice quiet Thanksgiving here. But otherwise, I've gotten some game time in. Speaking of which, Steele,
Yeah.
curveball, or actually,
Go ahead. Throw it out there. You know I like it.
no,
That's
no,
what we
no.
do here.
No, can you throw up a poll in the chat? Chat.
Okay.
Can you do that? Can you do that?
I think it looks like. It looks like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's a question for chat.
Okay.
What is better? And I don't know how you want to word this, Steele. I guess.
I'm say just like you say it.
Well, okay. I'm gonna use a general term, holiday, even though we just got done with Thanksgiving, because
Okay.
we've got some European friends in here and stuff that don't celebrate Thanksgiving. So we're just
Right.
gonna use holiday.
Okay.
What's better? The actual holiday feast or the 2 to 3 days afterwards of leftovers? What's better? Because to me,
Holiday.
what's better, the day of feast or the leftovers? Because for me, god damn, I love leftovers, man. Leftovers the next 2 to 3 days. I'll use this. Look, when you make chili, it's
Right.
really great, right? You make chili, but man, after it sits in the fridge for that day or 2 days, man, the flavor just gets better. For me, there's nothing better than the leftovers. So, chat, you tell me what's better, the day of feast or the leftovers? Because for me, I probably have to say the leftovers. Look, don't get me wrong, the day of feast is amazing, but man, those leftovers are just good.
Ladies and gentlemen, that poll is up live right now in the chat. Let us know what is better. And is it, because I kind of agree with Pong Soul here, man. The day after, I don't know what it is. A couple days after, that ham hits a little bit differently. When you put it on that egg sandwich, it just hits differently. Stuffing. I mean, even the collard greens. The next day, it just hits different. I don't know what it is, man. You let those seasonings soak in there.
That's what I'm saying. There's something about it, man.
I'm right there with my brother Pong Soul, man. So y'all let us know. Hit that poll up. Like, get those votes in there. Right now, it looks like we're half and half. Hey, we need to. Hey, tell your mama to get in the chat. Tell her to sign into YouTube. Tell her Living Splitscreen is live, and we got a poll going on right now. We need to know what leftovers are better. If it's the leftovers or the holiday feast, let us know.
Exactly. And so again, sorry for the left turn there a little
That was amazing.
Otherwise, been getting actually some gaming in over the past couple days here. Again, I was working 12-hour days early in the week, so I really didn't do a whole heck of a lot of gaming. But man, past couple days, I've been hitting that Battlefield after the latest patch hard. I know nobody wants to talk about that. It's Halo all the time. But look, there's some of us Battlefield fanatics out there.
We'll talk about that today.
Playing. And so I've had a great time on Battlefield. Got some Halo time in finally. Yesterday, I played for a few hours with Mav, who was live streaming and stuff. So definitely got some Halo on. Not compared to everybody else around here. Look, I just hit level 2 on the free battle pass yesterday. Okay, so that was exciting, right?
Yeah.
But I got that in, and of course, some Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Been pumping into that. I'm back over 100 hours in Skyrim. I do have a public service announcement that we'll get to on Skyrim as well, because it did happen to me. I talked to you about that last night, Steele. And then otherwise, I've been going back to old games, man. I've been hitting some old games up and been playing some cool stuff.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about that museums that you had in there. Over 1,200, 1,300 games played.
Oh, yeah. The museum. We haven't talked about that either, right? So, yeah, we didn't talk about that. So, the museum, 14, let's see, I think it was 1,400 and
you were up there, man.
Some games. I'm not going to say I'm the highest. I saw some people at 2,000 games that have been around the way. But hey, for somebody who did not start on the OG Xbox, who did not own an OG Xbox, you can tell I am that grazer, right? That's what Microsoft calls us. Internally, Xbox calls us the people that just play a lot of different games. I had 1,457 different games played in my time with Xbox. It was a lot. It was kind of strange though. Most played games, Call of Duty still topped Battlefield. And like I said in my tweet, I wonder if the lost gamer tags that we all kind of had during the 360 era, the stats might have pumped them up because we had, you know, different gamer tags for different reasons back in the day. And I wonder if that would have gotten Battlefield up there, because I swear I played Bad Company 1 and 2 more than I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And Modern Warfare 2 was up there as well. But Modern Warfare for me is still the best Call of Duty. So it wasn't a shock to see it there. But yeah, no, those were some cool stats as well that came out. But yeah, man, I've had a great week so far. Enjoying the 4-day weekend, getting some relaxation in. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play with you, brother, because you had to work yesterday.
Today will be the day for sure.
Yeah, today will be the day. So other than that, Steel, it's been a great time to be a gamer, man. That's all I got to say. And I hope everybody's had a great week.
Always, man.
Steel, what have you been up to? I know you've been just Haloing it. So
yeah, man.
No life Halo.
It's been between Forza and Halo, and to be completely honest, this is the kind of the problem that I have with Halo. This is gonna be my number one complaint for Halo. It's taking too much of my time. No. It's just one of those things. You know that a game is good. You know that the gameplay loop feels really nice. When you go play other games and then you get about an hour in, and you're like, damn, kind of just want to play that game again.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling. I haven't felt that way about many games in a long time. There has been some key components over the year, which we're going to end up adding to our yearly roundup and everything. I don't want to do that today. It's not the end of the year. We'll definitely have that coming up in December some point, depending on how it falls in. I believe we probably won't end up, again, more housekeeping. I do know that Christmas falls on Saturday, which, to my knowledge, I'll go ahead and speak for us both at this moment. More than likely, we're not going to be doing a show that day. So we'll definitely catch y'all on that next weekend. Actually, let me pull up some dates, because if it ends up falling in perfectly, because the first ends up falling, the January 1st ends up falling that next week, and that's that next Saturday. We could do it then. That would actually be a not bad time. Yeah. We do a full round, yearly roundup to start the year off, and then kind of our expectations. I think we should do that. I think that'll be dope. To really give it to the people, man, because everybody else is going to do theirs, and then we can follow up on ours on the back end. So I think that'd be amazing. Fun speculation was like, especially when you're playing with that sweaty Onyx Steel Rain. Hey, look, man, I can't help that my first initial ranking, my first 10 matches, I was placed in Diamond 3. I didn't have to work too hard for Onyx. So it's like, I know other people have been like, oh, man, you're a tryhard. You've had to put on all these hours. You're playing. No, I played like 30 hours, 20 hours, and I was already Onyx. And I've kind of let it die since then. I've also played with everybody. I'm not one of those sweaty guys who are just like, I can't play with you. You're a
bougie Halo player. You're like, I can't play with you peasants.
No, we do have some people that play with us that are like, yeah, man, I can't play rank with y'all, man. I got to play with my sweaty friends. But shout out to y'all, man. I feel you. I have that perspective, but I also like to keep it open, man, because, again, I like to challenge myself more than anything. So that's me. But yeah, so it's just been between Forza and Halo. Every time that I go back to Forza, man, it's like, I was telling my wife this the other day, my God, how beautiful is that damn game? Like just driving around. Yes, there's pop-ins. Yes, there's other little things that kind of bother you, but who really cares unless you're jumping in the air, doing 300 miles an hour? Man, it's going to be pop-in. I mean, things happen. The game needs to be optimized a little bit more. But you're not really looking at those things when you're doing 200 plus, going around corners and things. So, Forza's been continuing to be amazing. I believe there are over 11 million at this point players that have hit it. It's an amazing thing. I know people try to downplay that. Oh, how many people actually played the game? Put 40 hours in. Again, that's not the point. The fact is, with it being a Game Pass, it's touched more eyes than most games do within their first week, and that I feel like is the most amazing thing. So with that being said, though, Pong, you know how we got to do it, man. We got to get into the upcoming games and anything. But is there anything else that you want to touch on before we get into that, man?
We could touch on stuff after we do that. If you want to shout some people out in the chat, I'll bring that up, because again, I'm rusty. I feel like I haven't done this like forever. So yeah,
you're good, man.
Shout out some people in the chat.
We're here. We got to shout out to the people in the chat. And again, for our audio listeners also, again, I do try to upload live our live podcast about an hour after the show goes live. After the show ends, I should say. So definitely continue to be on the lookout for that. We have been gaining a little bit of traction on the audio side of things, not as much as I would like, but again, we also haven't necessarily had the time to continuously push that ball forward. But for those of y'all who are interested in that, who pay attention to the audio platforms, let people know, man, Living Splitscreen is also available on all audio platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google, the list goes on and on. We're available on everything. So definitely shout out to that. Shout out to Anchor FM for just being great, for allowing me to upload my 3+ hour shows that we do. I've had a little finesse to it, so I've been able to get our longer shows on there. So that's been working out great. But other than that, let's shout out these people, man. Fun speculation. What's going on, my guy? You said, yeah, bro, you could stay the same for every game. I wonder what percentage of players beat a game like God of War. It's a good perspective, man. There's another game that I started. I got about 5, somewhere between 5 to 10 hours in, and I dropped it. When Spider-Man came out, it forced me to drop God of War. Is what it is. I actually feel like Spider-Man is a better game than God of War is. Say what you want. Call it what you want. And they're both PlayStation titles. So am I biased? I don't know. God of War just wasn't it for me, but I've never been a huge God of War fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always understood the hype. I understand why it gets people like the hardcore guy that fucks naked chicks and whatever the case might be. That's cool. But I just feel like there's other characters. Like, for an example, Asura's Wrath, I thought was an amazing game too. Straight to the point, and I feel like it took that whole perspective of gods and everything, and put it in a better example of what you can do with a game. Not saying that God of War is bad. It has awesome action sequences. If you love it, if you like it, I love it. That's cool. This is my personal opinion. But anyway, Crazy Louie Gaming, the sumo man himself. What's going on, my guy? He had that face paint on.
He does look like a sumo.
Had his hair up in the ponytail. Shout out to you, man. Nothing but love. That's why I made you a mod, man. You show us nothing but love, and that energy that you bring is what me and Pong are all about. So continue to do you, man. I love it. Don't let nobody kind of shy you away from that. Curse Soul 666. First time I'm seeing you here, my guy. Much love to you. Hopefully we can attract you to stay on a week-to-week basis. We love it when we see new people in here. Matt Barnes, what's going on, my guy? Awful Grim Bones. I just saw you add me on Xbox, man. That's another thing. All of you gamers that say you play games, please add me on. Add a motherfucker on Xbox, man. You trying to play Halo? You trying to get down? Let me know, man. There's too many people that say they play games, and I never see them playing games. Now, you can be like Pong Steel myself, because I say that, but I also like to keep to myself. I'm an introvert naturally. I'm the most introverted extrovert that you would ever meet. But
What? Stop. Now you're just lying.
No, it's
Don't
a fact.
lie to these people.
It's a fact. Tony Grasso, he says, still digesting Thanksgiving dinner, but great. Hope you're well. He's shouting out Crazy Louie. Stanley Francois, what's going on, my guy? I know I saw my guy Joe Dunmore in here. He asked how I feel. Joe, I'm feeling great, man. I'm loving to see you here. Amazing. 1 hour, one decision was good. Caitlin and Fun Speculation, what's going on? Pretty sure I said it fun out already. I'm just gonna go back all the way up to the top and shout out people. Actually, I want to go ahead and bring up this poll too, since the poll is towards the end. It looked like 68% of people were favoring the leftovers the next day and a few days after. Shout out to y'all, man. So y'all already know what time it is. Rescue Squad Cope, Tempest Son, Wilbo Gaggins, Doom Reaper, Smitty Smith is in the house. Shout out to the Book of X. Retro Nerd, the original Next Level Gaming. Ooh, excuse me, got a little gas built up. That's that Rockstar kicking in. NWMU Studios. What's going on, my guy? Matt Barnes.
Stewie.
You know, we always love to see you here, Matt. What else? HR Bomber. What's going on, my guy? Wandering Dutch, the main man himself. Again, y'all be on the lookout, man. Got one lucky winner winning that controller midway through this episode. Stay on the lookout for that. And also, we're going to be announcing the new winner for everybody that retweeted and everything for that post, to kind of give us that push towards 400 and everything. We are giving a $75 Xbox gift cards away to one lucky winner. So stay on the lookout for that. That will all be announced midway during the show. I think I'm going to announce the controller winner towards the end, just to be extra petty. Why not? Then let's go ahead and shout out Nix, Dan the Man Cunningham. What's going on, my guy? Mr. Kima, the blue one. What's going on? Retro Nerd. Who else we got in here, man? Look, if you're in here hanging out, keeping it live, raw and uncut, let us know in the chat. And we can keep this ball moving, man. If you didn't hear your name announced, say, "Yo, what's good, Steel?" And I'll give you a shout out, man. I definitely want to shout out to everybody who likes to come in on a week-to-week basis, and even to the newer people, man. Because again, you're the reason why we do this. I mean, again, I say that, but me and Pong could probably sit here and talk for 3 hours to ourselves, as we do anyway when we get in a party. Just talk about whatever, everything, and many different ways. Some conversations might scare y'all, but it is what it is. But with that being said, man, Pong, are you ready to get into that upcoming game?
Let's do this. I've got him. So
he said he's ready.
I am.
He said he's ready. He's getting locked in. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do it here. Me and Pong, it's all about the industry. It's all about the love of gaming. It's all about the passion, right? So what we do, we treat gaming as art as it should be treated. Every individual game is a masterpiece in itself. There's millions of people within the industry, thousands of people within the industry that work on these games, and we didn't want to make sure that they get the proper light, not only incoming, but also ones that have passed. And right now, we're going to get in those upcoming games. So let's get to it.
That's right. Week of November the 29th, rolling into December already. Folks, the older you get, faster time passes. Let me tell you from experience.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Dang,
I can definitely feel
believe it. This is crazy. All right, so week of the 29th, we are going to start off with a classic franchise, a fan favorite franchise that's been around for a long time. I used to play them a lot, not so much anymore, but this was a console timed exclusive for PlayStation.
Back in the day.
Now coming to Xbox Series and Xbox One. That is Oddworld Soulstorm.
Good game.
So again, go check this game out. The older gamers in here will definitely remember Oddworld. It was ahead of its time.
Loved it back in the day.
Yeah, it was so cool. The animation, the style, everything about it was really, really fun. So you know what? Eventually, I'll probably wind up getting this at some point. I'm not going to start out by getting it, but I'm definitely going to check it out because I love Oddworld. Even if I don't finish them, which I don't a lot of games anyways, but I'm just saying, even if it's just for a brief stint through the world, I love Oddworld. They are always creative. So go check out Oddworld. That is coming out on the 29th. Then we've got Beyond a Steel Sky coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is from Revolution Software. This has been out on mobile since 2020 and also PC, Mac, and Linux. My God, this game is out everywhere. And it came out on PlayStation. Yeah, it's coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch on November 30th. Can't tell you anything about it. Looks kind of like a future setting beyond a steel world. So go check that out if you are looking for something new. Evil Genius 2 World Domination is coming out. This is a strategy game that looks absolutely ridiculously fun, simulation style game where you get to be the bad guy and you get to try to dominate the world.
This is coming out on Xbox 360, Pong. Do you see that?
I see that. I don't believe it. I think that might be a mistype. I think they meant to say Xbox One. So
I hope so. I definitely hope so.
I've watched gameplay of this, and the 360 even could not. Again, this is
I just
not
thought
the
that
most.
Was funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Actually.
Oh God.
But go check this out. It's gotten rave reviews over on PC. A lot of people love this game. It's always fun to be the bad person in a video game. And again, if you're into simulation, I've already got it pre-downloaded, ready to rock and roll, because it is coming out on Game Pass, which we'll get to in a second here. But Evil Genius 2 World Domination, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I think Game Informer was wrong with their Xbox 360 prediction. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. First mistake we've caught in a while, other than them missing games.
Exactly. That is coming out November 30th. And then we move into December. We got We got
already. God damn.
fights in tight spaces.
Ooh.
Xbox console. Wait, let me click this up. This is strategy game. Okay, all right. Developers Ground Shatter, publisher Mode 7 Games, Xbox Series and Xbox One and PC. So console exclusive. It looks like December 2nd, 2021. Fight in tight spaces. Looks like they use. Yeah, this is looking kind of cool actually. I'm about this stuff. Very unique color scheme that they use, contrasting colors with black and white background. Hey, I like it. Okay, all right, might have to check that one out. So yeah, okay, I get what it is. So it definitely is a strategy game, turn-based kind of fighting style. Cool, hand-to-hand combat. I like it. Fight in tight spaces, December 2nd. Solar Ash is coming out finally for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC.
Definitely one I want to touch on.
Oh yeah. Developed by Heart Machine, published by Annapurna. Again, look, not every Annapurna game has to be for you, but when Annapurna publishes a game, you know it's going to be good at the end of the day. Shout out to Indie Gamer. He is an Annapurna stan. I did not know about Annapurna like per se until I started watching Indie Gamer, and then I started looking at their list of games that they've published. Look, them and Devolver Digital, two of my favorite publishers for smaller titles. These guys don't miss for me. So again, this is right now console exclusive to PlayStation. I believe it is a timed exclusive, which will be coming to Xbox later. At least I'm crossing my fingers. That's usually how Annapurna works.
Right.
So I can't wait. Love the art style. Love everything about this game from what I've seen so far. Indy was definitely highlighting it a few months ago now. So I cannot wait to get into this game when it eventually does show up on Xbox. So go check that out for sure. This is from the same developer who did Hyper Light Drifter, which was a huge hit back in 2016, won of a bunch of awards. So go check this out. Looks absolutely incredible. So that is a big game this week for PlayStation side of things. I hope you all enjoy it and get on that because it is definitely worth your time for sure. Let's see here. We got, December 3rd, Steel. You and I were just talking about this.
We were, and I actually have something to say about this, but we'll go ahead.
Yeah. Look, new game coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC. It is Chorus. We've been waiting on Chorus for a while. Those of us, this has been showing off since I think last year, actually. Back in 2020, this was one of the big games that Xbox was showcasing. Chorus is a space shooter. This is the one where you are a female pilot who has actually defected from her, let's say the Empire is what it kind of like. She doesn't like what they're doing. They're destroying planets. She defects. She gets to fly a sentient AI ship who is self-aware, who speaks to her, and they basically become one when they're fighting. Look, go check out the latest 4K trailer that just dropped. I watched this thing on my OLED. It is absolutely freaking ridiculously good looking game. It is not a full price game. I believe it is $40.
Really?
Yeah, it is not a full price game, but yeah, go ahead, Steel.
No, I was just saying that's nice. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Go watch the trailer because they do dive. IGN, actually, don't go watch you can watch the trailer for sure. Go watch IGN's 8 minutes of gameplay. It actually shows this game off very well. Looks incredible. If you're into space shooters, this is the game for you. They've got a loot system, which speaks to my heart on top of everything else. I love space shooters. It's got a loot system. You can customize your ship loadouts with your weapons, but just the way the ship is animated and how it moves on the screen.
That's what got me.
Yeah, the types of maneuvers that you can make. This ship is one of the most agile ships I've ever seen, which makes sense. But just way the ship actually transforms
Yeah, that's dope.
subtly
Attention to
as
detail.
it's moving. The attention to detail is off the charts. Everything about this game speaks quality.
Mhm.
Like I said, the graphics, the work that they've put into this is absolutely incredible. Chorus is coming out December 3rd. I am day one on this. I'm going to pre-order it this week. This, like I said, the gameplay trailer that IGN just had really sold me once and for all on it. Plus, go listen to the music. They dropped the opening track. It sounds like they went all out, full orchestra. They've got a chorus in the background. Absolutely something that I could listen to nonstop. So Chorus is coming out December 3rd. Please go check it out if you're into space shooters for sure.
Yeah. And then on that, I kind of wanted to bring this up during a conversation just because I knew we were bringing this up. For those who have PC, there's a game called Everspace 2.
Oh, yeah.
The game is currently in game preview.
Yeah.
Chorus looks just like that. The Everspace 2 and Chorus play very similar to each other. I've played Everspace 2. This is coming from experience. I haven't been able to put the kind of time I've been wanting to put into it.
Everspace is a deep game, brother.
It is. But as far as like loot system, customization, everything that you're speaking to, Everspace 2 also has it. So if you have a PC, you can't really wait right now. You're kind of interested in that in Chorus, or that space sci-fi kind of shooter kind of thing. Chorus does do it a little bit better because of the ship being more interactive, as far as the ship talking to you and just seeing the ship like pull apart, come together, pull apart. I thought that was really dope. And then Chorus also takes the movement and kind of upset a little bit, because in Chorus, from at least the trailer that I watched and everything, it seems like the flying is a little bit tighter. In Everspace 2, it has all the same movement, but it's not as agile as it came across in Chorus to me. It's all the same though, pretty much, but it didn't seem as agile and everything. That's the best way that I can put it. Right now, Everspace 2 is in Game Pass, or in game preview in Game Pass. So definitely check that out if you have PC. I wanted to make that recommendation because these two games are very similar to each other. Everything that I've seen from the trailer for Chorus, I've seen in Everspace 2. It's just the gameplay in Chorus, I would say, is definitely better. Seems to be a little bit better than Everspace, but that's neither here or there. If you guys are interested in that, definitely check it out. I'm hyped. I'm kind of excited for it. So I think I might end up being day one on that too. Just depends. It'll probably be day one added to my backlog.
kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait, man. Again, that gameplay trailer sold me when I saw the loot system on top of everything else, with different rarities, plus there's a skill tree as well type system where you can open up different skills that actually change how you play. The story sounds fantastic. Again, I was surprised when I saw this was not a full price game. I can't wait to see what the reviews come out like on this thing. Just from an opinion standpoint, I want to see kind of how deep this game is. But from everything I'm seeing, they show you can travel to different systems. There's different systems and everything else that you can get to. They even talk about how you can play it the way you want to play it, so you don't have to approach every scenario the same. Love it. Absolutely love it. Dude, I just can't wait. I can't say enough about it. So, then we've got a couple of Switch games coming. Danganronpa Decadence and Danganronpa Ultimate Summer Camp. That's how I say it, folks. If you say it differently, I understand that word. If you ever played those games, yeah. Look, I'm not from the East, and I don't have that accent. I don't try to usually generally do that accent. So
that's how I would say it.
These games. These are niche titles. These are games I wish were on Xbox.
Oh God, you have experience.
These are some of the most interesting freaking games out there.
Oh, here we go.
I love the Danganronpa series. I played them on PlayStation and on Vita. Absolutely adore these games. Did not get through all of them, of course, because I just don't get through games. But I play them, and I absolutely love the story. I love the concept of them. They are crazy. They are wacky. They are outrageous, but it is fun. So Switch gets two of them, Decadence and Ultimate Summer Camp. So again, I don't have experience with either one of these. I played the regular versions, but these are from Spike Chunsoft. Again, another company that has generally not put their stuff on Xbox that I hope does change in the future. I'd love to see a Danganronpa collection come. That would be fantastic to allow Xbox players to catch up. I think it would be cool. So again, go check that out if you're on Switch. Switch has got a lot of cool little titles. Like I said, if Nintendo just did something Steel, I'd be there because they do have a bunch of titles I'd love to be able to play. But again, those are coming out on December 3rd. And really, that is all she wrote, folks, for next week. But look, a couple really great titles, standouts in there for sure. Odd World, if you are an old Odd World fan. Evil Genius 2, if you're looking for a simulation game. Otherwise, Solar Ash on PlayStation and Chorus everywhere. Please go check those out. And then real quick, I am also going to hit this PlayStation Plus lineup for December already leaked, since that list did include December. If you got PlayStation Plus for December, you get Godfall.
I liked it. I mean,
I know you did. I was waiting for you to jump in here because most people have trashed the hell out of this game.
And most people haven't played the game. That's another problem for me is that I'm tired of people talking about games that they have not either have no interest in or don't really play those types of games. Because the game is great. Now, does it have the Anthem problem? Yes, it does. Did they lie to us and say that, oh, it can only be done on the next gen console? Yes, they did. For marketing purposes, which I completely understand. But the game itself, as a melee combat kind of guy who really enjoys it, I feel like they really had something there, and it has that Anthem syndrome, unfortunately. It's just missing on the back end. My personal opinion.
Yep, I agree. It would be a game I would definitely check out just because of the loot system, right?
It feels good. It's a good feeling game.
Yeah, but it did not live up to what everybody thought.
No.
So Godfall is coming. So congratulations. Actually, that's kind of a cool, that's a good pickup. That's something I definitely would download if I had PS Plus, for sure, just to try it out. Mortal Shell is coming as well to PlayStation Plus. Look, side note on Mortal Shell.
You tried it actually, which is interesting.
As you all know, I am not a Souls fan. I am looking forward to Elden Ring, as I've been talking to Steel in the background. I have a feeling that Steel is going to be putting me into his backpack and carrying me around in that game, but I want to experience that open world version of a Souls game. Everything about Souls games I love except for the gameplay. Look, I do not want to take the time to get good, and I get frustrated. So Mortal Shell dropped into Game Pass. Mortal Shell became available on the cloud. So I was like, all right, here's an opportunity to try out the cloud through the console for the first time. I did that. Listen, folks, if you've got the internet, try to cloud stream through the console. It is freaking fantastic. I didn't have to download this game because again, it's a game I not normally would play, but I was like, I love the aesthetic. It's straight up. The developers have been open that Dark Souls was their influence completely, that they basically just made their own Dark Souls world with their own lore, but they really took a lot from Dark Souls. So I was like, look, I don't want to download this game, but I can try this game out and see if I get any different feels from this one. The cloud worked nearly flawless, like a couple little minor, like little stutters, here and there, not during battle, not during the important parts, just kind of when I was walking around. Otherwise, flawless. I was so impressed. Resolution wise, frame rate wise, it was awesome. I really did like that experience through the console. So that was huge for me. But Mortal Shell, I told Steel in the background, 15 minutes, first battle, I could already feel the frustration rising. And this is not against a boss. This is against the little guys.
That's funny.
Against the little guys. Nice. Like, I went in understanding the concepts. I went in understanding what I could not be just, just take no prisoners style. You
No.
have to be patient. You
Mhm.
have to dodge. You have to sit back. You have to roll. You have to wait for them to finish.
Gotta learn the enemies.
Gotta learn the patterns, right?
Mhm.
I did all that. And still, I felt the frustration rising because I felt I was getting cheaply hit or whatever the case may be. Anyways, great looking game. All Souls fans, go check out Mortar Shell. It is in Game Pass, and you can try it out on cloud if you want to. So, but that is coming to PlayStation Plus as well in December. And then the final game for December is Lego DC Supervillains, which I almost bought on sale a couple of weeks ago on Xbox because they had the full boat, the Ultimate Edition, for like $9. Almost dropped it. Again, I just don't have any kiddos to play Lego with. And I was like, God, it's just going to sit there in my backlog, even though it's really cool. It's really fun. Lego DC Supervillains is coming to PlayStation Plus in December. So you guys on the PlayStation side of things get to play it. And then next week for Xbox, as we talked about, let's see what's coming out. Evil Genius 2 is coming to Game Pass on the 30th. I can't wait to play it. Like I said, I've got that pre-downloaded.
Right.
Mind Scanners. This is a game coming to Game Pass next week that was not in the Game Informer list.
You said Minesweeper?
Mind Scanners. This is a puzzle cyberpunk kind of world. They call it a retro-futuristic psychiatry simulation where you diagnose the citizens of dystopian metropolis.
Interesting.
And it's got this cool, like, old school aesthetic to it, obviously.
Right.
But it's got these great, you have to look at it for yourself. It's got these great puzzles that are set up. Almost looks like you're trying to defuse a bomb in some ways. But you're analyzing people. So definitely something I'm going to download and try out because I do like my puzzlers just to take my brain off of things sometimes. So check that out. Mind Scanners coming to Game Pass on the 30th. Let's see if anything else is coming to Game Pass.
And Doom Reaper, you're like the 20th guy that I've seen. Hey, try Remnant from the Ashes. I don't know, man. Pong, maybe that's a game that we end up hopping into at some point whenever we get some free time. I know it's a fully co-op game.
I've got hours in Remnant.
I've probably have a few hours in it. It was something about it. I was also earlier on the game. It was something about it that didn't pull me all the way in. Could have been I wasn't playing co-op.
The more you play, the better it gets. I got to a point. I got to a boss that I simply could not. I tried probably literally between 30 and 40 times. And I tried solo. So I was soloing it. I wasn't co-oping. And I just could not do it. I just could not get past that point. And that's when I put it.
Hey, you might have to
up to that point.
You might have to sharpen me, man.
Yeah. Enjoyable. Love the gunplay in it. Again, everything about the game spoke to me. Love the story. All of it. So again, great game. It just got to the point where, again, I'm not one of those people that says never, ever. I do try these games just to see. And that one actually, even though there was frustrating points, I could get past them, especially with the gunplay because I could do long range, right? So if you learned where the enemies were and kind of their routes, I could take shots and get them down before they got on top of me, and had a chance to really get to me. So therefore, that style play, even though if they did get to me, it was a quick death if I wasn't paying attention. I like that. I didn't have a problem with that so much because I could back away, get off a couple pop shots, keep backing away, get off a couple pop shots. So for me, that was a better style as far as the Souls games go. And it wasn't quite as hardcore as like a Dark Souls or a Mortal Shell or, that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, we can definitely hop in that. Remnant from the Ashes, I actually did enjoy a lot. So until I got to that boss, and I wanted to get past it, Steel.
I might be the guy to help you get past
you
the
might
boss,
be the catalyst,
man.
You might be the catalyst. That's for sure.
Hey, it'll be all of your work that'll get me there.
So yep, that was it for the Game Pass game. So Steel, excellent. That was your next week in gaming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
that's some good stuff.
There's some interesting things in there. Chorus is definitely I'm hyped for, especially coming off the heels of Everspace 2. I think Chorus is definitely going to hit those notes again. I'm all about the attention to detail. The way that I saw that ship just pull apart and come together, that automatically enticed me. I was like, okay, that as a Transformer fan, as a robot fan, as a Gundam fan, seeing those types of things, Transformer fan, Zoids fan, the list goes on and on. When I see those types of things happening, there's something about it that always gets me. Oh, it's a sentient AI controlling this robot Evangelion. These different series of things that have this kind of representation. And now that we're kind of in this era, I really am hoping for more games like that to kind of really take advantage of the sci-fi kind of mantra that's kind of going on, right? Using more robots, using more sentient kind of beings and becoming one with humans, or maybe even, you know what I think would be dope as hell if they came out with a Guyver game. I think a Guyver game would be fucking dope as hell. Like,
a lot of it,
for people that are familiar with the show and everything, oh my God, I think Guyver would be like, and it's like dark enough to where you could rate it M for mature. Like, it could be a really over the top game and actually be like a fucking amazing game. But that's just me. But with that being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into these topics. Now, me and Pong were kind of talking about it a little bit in the background. This may end up being a shorter show. Who knows? We might end up talking about Halo for 3 hours. Now, I'm playing, or that's not going to happen. The first topic that we are going to get into is going to be off the heels of Halo, just because there's multiple things that have been said about it. There are some things that I know me and Pong kind of want to touch on, as far as the FUD, I guess we can start with, and then also, not necessarily, I don't want to say people taking their personal feelings and trying to force it on everyone, but like Pong likes to say,
community stuff,
the community stuff, because again, it's not just Twitter. I spent hours on Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all four combined, looking at different posts and looking at different people's ideas and everything else so that I can make sure that it's not just our bubble that is saying this, right? There's so many posts on Reddit of people just complaining. And the consensus is they're not complaining about the game or the gameplay or whatever else the case might be. It's progression. That's what they're complaining about. All things were taken away.
Crazily thought you were talking about a MacGyver game.
No, man. No,
that would be a fantastic game too.
I mean,
back a while. I don't know if it hits so much now, but back in the day, that would have been a pretty cool game. Solving different problems and stuff. But he figured it out. Oh, Guyver, the armor suit guy.
Yes, man. Yeah. He said MacGyver. Oh God, that's hilarious. But so what me and Pong want to do, we want to hit this Halo topic, but we want to try to round it off as best as possible. Me as being as a avid Halo fan, I love every Halo game that has come out. Whether it's story, whether it's multiplayer, whatever the case, but I haven't had one grab me the way that Halo Infinite has, as far as just multiplayer itself, which kind of gives me a lot of hope for the campaign. And from what I've seen so far, I definitely want to get into that at some point. But also with Pong's, not only knowledge, but experience and everything, but as he likes to say, as a casual Halo fan, to give
you those that don't know yet,
for those who don't know, I know it's a kind of a meme at this point. But we kind of want to give both aspects, kind of bounce off each other, because more so, I think between me and Pong, we want whatever's going to be best for the game, right? Not only that, but we're not being overly critical. We're not being fucking just over the top with overbearing and whatnot. I can't find a better way to put that. Like a lot of other people are, and I don't want to beat this into the ground. So to start off with, I kind of want to pass it off to you first, Pong, then I kind of bounce off you, because I know you're not probably going to have a ton to say. And then we can kind of go back and forth from here.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
Hours later, feels like, can I get a word in?
No, I'll just ransack you and jump in there. Push you off the jump rope, and I'll start jump roping myself. But no, but I wanted to pass it off to you, man. From the perspective, from everything that you kind of been seeing, the multiple complaints, kind of your own kind of feelings about, yes, the progression, yes, how the game makes you feel, yes, like the entire perspective the community kind of has on it. How do you feel about what 343 has seemingly done with this game, as far as I don't feel like such a scrub when Pong Soul's on my fire team.
Yeah.
That's
Geezer
hilarious.
Geezer was in yesterday with us.
That's hilarious. I keep
You're right,
trying,
Geezer.
I keep trying to tell y'all, man. Pong tries to downplay himself, but he's actually pretty good.
Terrible. Anyways,
but with that being said, with the community kind of being in the uproar that they are, the biggest complaint that we're seeing is with the progression system or with the customization or whatever else you want to add on to it.
What? I haven't heard any of that.
Yeah. Or even the battle pass. So I know we have kind of touched on this off and on, but it's kind of gotten to the point where it's an everyday thing. I know it's been a lighter topic, lighter week for topics and everything, but it seems like Halo is still up there as the main thing to discuss, the main thing to complain about, and people just can't stop playing.
But nobody cares about Halo anymore, Steel. Didn't you hear? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's a dead game on arrival.
That's what they've been saying. That's what they've been saying for 6 years. And apparently Halo is the #1 game, free-to-play game in at least America, the United States of America.
Oh, I thought you were going to say universe. I was
no, not the universe. But at least in the USA, Halo is the top free-to-play game across the board. And it's only been out for a week. But how are you kind of feeling about this? What is your perspective on this? And do you want to tell the people to get some help, or like where you kind of leaning on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always a get some help. Look, let's start here, Steel. Number one, this is still a beta. And again, I know people blew it off as, oh, they're just calling it a beta, so they released it early, blah, blah, blah. It's not really a beta. We're getting a full game. No, we're not getting the full game. Okay. We don't have the full multiplayer experience. Okay. It's not there. We don't have the playlist that everybody wants. Right. We don't have a lot of the final form of progression. We don't have all the maps yet. Necessarily from what's been data mined. There's a lot more maps to be had, and obviously that'll probably be a season thing or whatever else where they introduce. I understand there's going to be a drip feed of content here,
right?
But this is still a beta. Everybody has to calm down on all sides, right? Because this is not the final Halo that we're going to see. A lot's going to change between now and let's say even 2 years from now, and they have a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to take a step back, take a deep breath, right? Understand that there is going to be a progression, pun intended, to this, okay? As we go through and Halo evolves, pun intended, okay? Look, I understand there's some frustration. I've talked about it. I felt frustration when I first saw the progression system back in the flights. I said, this challenge system isn't going to hold over time. Okay. Right. This can't be all they do, because there is going to be issues. They did it anyways, right? They didn't change it. They brought it out into the beta. Guess what? Saw problems right away, right? We're still seeing problems. However, big deal here is that 343 from the top, Joseph Staten even has come out and said they are aware, they hear us, they're going to make changes and continue to adjust. This is 343's and really Xbox's first attempt at this big of a free-to-play game. There's going to be bumps because they're not going to just copy everybody else that's come before them, right? They do have some examples out there of successful free-to-play games, battle pass systems. They have examples of all of that, but they're not looking to just copy everybody. Right. They're trying to make it their own. So they're going to experiment. And they're going to see what's worked. This is how free-to-play games usually do roll, right? The Call of Duty Battle Pass progression system that we have now isn't the one that they started with. No, they've learned, right? And the reason why I'm bringing up Call of Duty, even though nobody cares about Call of Duty this year, is because I think it's the best battle pass system out there as far as making me feel like I'm earning something consistently, right? And so for me, I always look to that one because even though I'm not, the gigantic Call of Duty fan I once was in the past, to me, when I hopped into Cold War for the first time in a few years last year, and I actually did buy 2 battle passes last year, I was not frustrated with the battle passes, right? Outside of the fact that I spent money on something that I knew I really didn't have the time to put into, like you should. So, But that's the difference here. 343 is allowing you to have an open-ended battle pass where it never ends, right? So the progress system they're trying to balance, right? I understand that they're trying to keep people engaged. Now, Steele, you and I had a conversation in the background
Yes.
about this, right? And I have some thoughts, you have some thoughts. We come from different perspectives just because of the type of Halo players we are and the type of overall multiplayer gamers that we have been in our past. So we have some different perspectives here.
Right.
But everybody, first of all, needs to take a step back, take a deep breath. They've acknowledged the criticism. They have come out and said they're going to work on it. They have already made some adjustments. Whether you think they are good enough or not does not matter. They came out immediately, started making adjustments. They're all on break. They're taking a much needed break for holiday right now.
Yep.
So to continue to go down this path of constant criticism is just beating a dead horse, and it's not worth it. Okay, it's not. Again, if 343 was ignoring everything and not coming out publicly and saying anything, or they were coming out and saying, nope, this is the way it's going to be, deal with it, then okay, then you can criticize. But again, I think we've gotten to the point, everybody's made their point now, and we don't really need to continue to harp on this until we don't see any changes. But let's wait a couple weeks until full launch, see what happens, and then go from there. And then still give them some room to grow here, because again, this is going to be an ongoing situation that they continue to evolve until they finally get to a place that's comfortable. And then if there's still problems, then if people still have issues, fine, talk about them, that's fine. But again, this over the top complaining, is not doing anybody any good at this moment, right? So now, as far as the battle pass goes itself and the progression goes, I understand what they're doing here. They are thinking about the engagement long term. This is a longer season than most battle passes are, right? They're going till May on this first season. Whether that continues to have those big long seasons or not, we'll see. Obviously, I think the first one was just because it's the first one and they're getting their feet wet and they just wanted to extend it out a little bit, give themselves time to get Forge ready, to get, co-op ready, all that kind of stuff. I think that's what they did here. They don't have to worry about the engagement. And this is what I was talking to Steele about in the background. For me personally, this is my opinion. Again, it's whether right or wrong or indifferent. I don't think that they have to worry about the engagement so much as far as, hey, we don't want people finishing off the battle pass and then just not playing anymore. That's not how it works in Call of Duty. There are grinders out there who finish the Call of Duty battle passes within a matter of weeks, right? Even though they have 100 plus levels, right? Even sometimes quicker. Multiplayer players are going to stick with your game. The battle pass is just one aspect of it. Like we've talked about, like everybody's talked about, the gameplay in this game is so tight, so good. It's such a great experience that you're not going to have the issue where people just come in, complete the battle pass because they want to get everything and then walk away from the game. No, multiplayer players understand the concept that there's something to earn there through the battle pass system. But then that's not when you stop playing the game and just wait for the next season. You continue on because the game itself is so dang great. And that's what happens, right? People continue to play. Now, I understand that they got to be careful. You don't want people, you don't want everybody and their mother finishing it off within the first week. That's not, that's not how you want it. But there is a way to still make it feel, even for the people who can't put 5-6 straight hours into a Halo, to still feel like they're earning something. Like I said yesterday, I got to level 2. I was like, and I was already partway there because I had played it the opening night, right? For a bunch of hours as well. So, 7 hours, probably somewhere between 5.5 to 7 hours total playtime. And I've earned level 2. That's a little rough, even for me. But again, it's already been stated that they're going to work on it. So it is what it is, right?
Right.
So I just think that at this point, everybody's gotten their opinion out there. And I think that we got to let 343 breathe. And I think we got to wait to see what the launch looks like and whether or not they change anything at launch or shortly thereafter. That's what we got to wait and see, because this is going to be an evolving situation. So now, as far as the community goes, again, the nonsense out there right now. Look, I know it's cool to love Halo right now, right? I know this is like a good thing. Yes, there's a portion that's cool to hate on Halo. We know what the circus is in the town. We know that. But right now within our own, Xbox community, it's very popular to love Halo right now. That does not give you the right to personal attack somebody who has an issue with the game. Okay, does not give you the right to bully, call names, go after them, mob people because they made a post that they don't want to play Halo until it's fixed anymore. Okay, and I'm not talking any specific situation. I've seen a lot of different situations out there.
Yeah,
that's never okay. All right. If you have a disagreement or you want to bring a point that you think that you might be able to change their mind about why they should continue to play even through the changes,
that's different.
Go ahead and do that. If you try to have a conversation with somebody, most people are going to have a conversation back. However, again, ripping on somebody, mobbing somebody just because they don't want to play your current favorite game anymore and they made a statement about it is wrong. Okay, it's just wrong. It's just move on, move past it. It should not bother you that somebody doesn't want to play. That's a personal decision they're making, and I understand they made it public, and we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, there's something different. Yeah,
there's something different there. But again, the point of fact is just scroll, just move on, mute them if you have to, if it bothers you that much. But again, to give that energy, to go that negative, and to be that toxic. Hate that word. It's whatever.
I mean, it's what it is.
It is what it is. That toxic towards somebody just because they stopped playing their game, your favorite game, and decided to make a post about it. Come on. You got better things to do with your lives. Okay. And don't bring that on people. Now, as far as the people making the posts about that, look, I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their lives. By no means am I a shining example of that. By any stretch of the imagination. We all have our problems. We all have our issues. We all have our downfalls. Okay. I am not here to tell anybody how to live your life. What I am going to say, though, is for the people who feel out there that they need to post every single thought that crosses their mind, before you hit that send button, think to yourself why you're doing that. Okay. Not everything, not every thought, not every idea has to be posted to social media. I know 100%. We've all gotten trained to do this. Social media, again, these companies, they have algorithms that have made this a thing. Okay. You're looking for that attention some way, somehow, some whatever. I'm not here to judge you on that. Okay. Again, that's your life. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to post something, and you feel that you're making a statement, ask yourself why you're making that statement. Okay. Because that statement that you think you're making isn't always important as you may believe it is. That's ego talking. I'm not talking that you're an egotistical person. We all live our lives through ego, and it's whether or not you can limit it. I'm not trying to be a psychologist here, but trust me, I've done plenty of deep diving on this. Okay. Listen, not every post is as important as you think it is. And not every post has to be made, especially if you're going to make a post about a popular topic and you are taking the contrarian view to that topic. Just understand it's not right when people mob. It's not right when people bully. I just called it out for that reason. But understand that you're going to get the attention that isn't necessarily going to be positive when you make that post. And if that's something that is going to bother you or hurt you, stop yourself from making that post. Okay. Because unfortunately, we don't live in a reasonable world. And I don't know how long it's been gone, but to think that other people are going to be reasonable with you when you make a post.
Never.
Trust me, it's not going to happen. Okay. And that's unfortunate, but you're going to get the worst of the worst. You're going to get the best of the best. You're going to get all sides. And again, if that's something that is going to bother you, please, for your own mental health, for your own well-being, just tell yourself, I don't need to put that energy out there right now. That's something I don't have to do. And again, not telling you to not do it. If you want to do it. That's fine. Nobody should be censored or feel like they shouldn't be able to post something. However, there is a point to self-censor. Okay. There is a point to knowing yourself and understanding what's going to come before you hit that send button. I've done it plenty of times myself. I've trained myself. Again,
Mhm.
I had a different Twitter life before I jumped into this community a couple of years ago, right? I had a whole different Twitter life, and I learned a lot through that Twitter life about what's worth it posting and what's not worth it posting,
Yep.
right? So just take a step back, right? But again, for everybody who decides to see one of those and start personally attacking somebody instead of having a constructive conversation with them, you as well, stop. Don't hit that send button. If you're that upset about something, scroll past it, mute that person. There's plenty of different options, but I would suggest just getting offline for a while. If a post about Halo is making you that vile, that upset inside, you're hurting yourself.
A bigger problem.
That energy that you're bringing into yourself over video games, once again, is not worth it. So please, please stop. Just stop. Everybody on both sides. But my main point here is that 343 has acknowledged this. They're going to work on it. It's going to be changing. They're going to try different things.
Yes.
Again, their first free-to-play game. The Halo was not a free-to-play game. This is their first one. Are they going to monetize the hell out of it? Yes, we knew that. We knew that. But it's not pay to win. It's cosmetics. It's cosmetics. Have they purposely made the free stuff less flashy than the paid stuff?
Purposely.
Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. Anybody who out there hasn't experienced free-to-play games, maybe you've always had that stigma in your head that free-to-play games suck. I understand that. But as somebody who does not have that stigma, who's tried free-to-play games, trust me, that's the way it is. They're going after your FOMO.
Yeah.
So train yourself not to have FOMO. Some people out here trying to call it predatory. I lean on the side of personal responsibility. It's up to you to monitor yourself. If you have that FOMO and you got to spend money to get the armor, that's your responsibility. I'm not going to judge you. I've spent money myself elsewhere in certain games.
Yeah.
But that's part of free to play. But the whole Halo experience there is not stuck behind a paywall in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry if you consider flashy armor part of the Halo experience. Look, we could have a paid game here that doesn't offer you half the armor sets that it offers you right now, and they could call it a day, and you would never know the difference. The monetization offers the ability for them to add more and more stuff that is there if you want to. It's your decision at the end of the day. I will run around in my ashy armor, as we heard on a podcast last weekend. I will run around in my ashy armor because I don't care about Halo. In other games, it's Steel's the bougie fashion guy for his characters. But in other games, I have been too. And I bought armor and I bought skins in Call of Duty. I ain't gonna lie. I bought them because I wanted them, right? But that was my choice to spend that money. It is up to you to decide how much you spend in this game and how much you don't spend in this game. And again, that's just the model, right? That's just the model. And it's a business model, pure and simple. That's all it is. And again, if you hate it so much, then don't spend the money on it. Run around ashy. Who cares? Make a statement by running around in your ashy armor the entire time saying, I'm not going to give 343 money because I don't agree with this. Great. Do that. Spend your time in the game. Who cares? Who cares? Make your statement that way. Again, this is a business model. I love it. This is something they're trying for the very first time. Expect bumps in the road. Expect more bumps in the road down the road. And again, don't lose your shit until 343 ignores it or refuses to answer to it, or that becomes that company.
They tell you, oh, well.
Oh, well. When they get to that point, then go ahead and lose your shit over it.
Like Call of Duty does.
343 is very aware of the situation. Look, they're not looking for the Halo fans, the hardcore Halo fans. Those people are going to be around forever. Okay. No matter what they do, they'll be there playing. They're looking for a much bigger audience, and they understand that they do have to make changes to keep those people engaged. So they're going to do it. They're going to make changes. So again, right now, give them the benefit of the doubt, take a step back. Steel, that's my piece on it. Where are you at, brother? I know you got some different perspectives, so have at it, brother. What are you thinking about Halo and what they've said so far, where they're going? And do you think that it's been a much to do about nothing, or what do you think?
All right, so I kind of want to start it off with the common theme that I'm seeing. And I thought it was just us being funny, because I know Mav, shout out to Fun Speculation, brought this up because somebody had brought it up to him saying that Halo was predatory. And I thought it was just that one place that I would end up seeing that, and then I wouldn't really see it nowhere. It was opinion of one person. Actually, this is an opinion of hundreds of people that they feel like Halo is predatory. And to me, that kind of demonstrates to me that y'all don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. To be completely honest. And I don't have a better way to put that. Predatory is when the game is pay to win. Like Black Desert Online is. And guess what? I love that game too. Yes, do I have to grind? Do I have to play 1,000 hours to get to the same point somebody who just spent $3,000 on the game did? To be as powerful? Yes. Can I outskill them? Yes. But I would never be in the same place as somebody who spends money on the game like they do in these MMOs. That is not the case in Halo. I understand that the customization is lacking compared to previous Halo titles. Again, I stand on that line. I am team. Give me my primary, secondary colors back, at least. At least. I can deal with everything else. You want to drop in armors over time, whatever else the case might be, cool. I completely understand. You got to make your money. Fortnite and then going into Call of Duty have been doing this, selling you full skins for characters for $20 just so you can look like Scream from the movie. Just so you can look like It from the movies. Just so you can look like whatever popular character. Fortnite is the worst. You can pay $20 per character on Fortnite. People complain about it, but they don't complain about it enough. People buy it in droves. And then what gets me is that, because I want to kind of come from this perspective. You have to remember, again, taking that RTS view, pulling yourself back out of the world. You have to remember these games aren't getting made for us. They're not. They're getting made to get the attention of the younger crowd. So you can bitch, moan, complain, not like it. You don't have to play the game. It's free to play. Point blank, period. I know people were trying to use the, I would have rather just had a full price game than not have any cosmetics. You wouldn't be able to guarantee that either. Even Halo has never had a bunch of, yes, we've had options. We've had a selection. You can customize your character a little bit. And it's always been over time that you get more and more and more options, right? Again, I'm 100% behind that line. Hey, we should have more customization options. We should, I'm looking at the videos. I sent Pong multiple videos in the background of them saying, hey, we want your Spartan to be, we want the individuality to be there. We want, to have that full customization and everything. If we're going to base it off of that and what we're getting right now, I 100% agree with the argument. Oh, we're lacking. They didn't stick to the word or whatever else the case might be.
Yeah, that video from 343 kind of set them up, and they are going to have to address that.
And they're going to have to deal with it now.
Yeah.
Because you said it. When you were selling the game, getting people hyped for the game, and you did your blogs to sell hope, you told us in that year time span that you gave us, we needed to give this time to work on the game, you told us that you're going to have more customization options than ever before. You're going to be able to feel like the Spartan within that world. Is that the case right now in beta? No. It's not. Now, are there some options there? Yes. Now, does everybody look pretty similar to each other? Yes. Unless you buy the MLG skins, but even those skins, the only thing that's different is the color.
Yeah.
They all look the same. Just the color is different.
Right.
For me, this, like Pong kind of said, the monetization strategy is off. Could they have looked at other games and kind of took something from them and they could have. But guess what? They tried to do something different. It's blatantly obvious that they tried to do something different. I'm still on the line that, because I know there was another argument that people were bringing up. For anybody that thinks that there's going to be more content added to the game day one on December 8th, you're out of your mind. 343 came out and said, this is everything. This is the full multiplayer. Okay. And we can have that argument when that day comes. If we come to release and they're still missing modes, if they're still missing us being able to at least choose if I want to play Slayer or Oddball, then we have some different things to talk about. For sure. Because that's a problem. Nobody wants to feel like they're forced to play a certain way. And that's kind of the problem right now. That's my biggest problem with Halo, is because 343 has inadvertently forced people to play a certain way, to the point where people aren't playing the objectives. Not only are you forcing me to play whatever game mode that you want me to play, but now you're also, because of the challenge system, forcing people to not play objectives. People are purposely throwing matches because they got to go get 5 jumps in midair with a commando. That's not good for the game, man. Like, that's always been a huge problem, whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's Halo, whether it's Apex, whether it's whatever game, where people don't play the objective. And Halo, for this to be kind of like the first foray in the free-to-play market, it's not a good look. And there's a lot of things that I could complain about and everything else, but goddamn, the fucking gameplay is so outstanding that, my God, there's so many things that I can look over. Am I settling for it? No. Again, I love cosmetics. I was sold on that dream that, hey, I want that you're going to have individuality. I was sold on that. Hell yeah, let's do it. Now, my question is, when will that individuality come? Now, does it really matter to me overall? In the long run, not necessarily. What matters to me is that they adjust the game to continue to pull in new players. And people have to understand the game isn't made for us older folks, the folks that didn't have these battle pass systems or season pass, whatever the case. Well, we didn't have that before. You just had what was in your game, and then that was pretty much it. You just kind of dealt with what was there. Do I think that Halo would be in a better position if they sold the multiplayer and the campaign as one package and it didn't do this whole free-to-play thing? I don't think so, personally, because what free-to-play does is open you up to have your game live beyond its normal lifespan. That's kind of been the problem with some of these multiplayer games over time, is that you give most of the stuff to people up front, and then people kind of just fall off. That's kind of why these other free-to-play games have been so popular, man. Like, just to be honest with y'all, it's because they drag things out. And you're more enticed by that gameplay than anything else. Now, does the game feel rewarding to a newer player? Probably not. Does it feel rewarding to me? In some aspects, not really. Some aspects. I do agree with the whole, hey, you should be rewarded for your gameplay. If you do well in a game, you should get the experience for that. If you're top of the leaderboard, you should get extra experience for that. If you got the most assists, if you were the most accurate, if you were whatever the case, you should get experience for that. You should. I feel y'all on that. But for this to be their first foray, and then for everybody to be like, oh, you have all these other comparisons, now you're inadvertently again saying that you want this game to be like every other game, which is Halo's already come and proved in beta that it's not. How much is Halo lacking for y'all? And Halo's the number one top free-to-play game in beta? Oh my God. So what's really missing? Customization options, progression, things that we can all have a constructive conversation about, right? All things that, for an example, Brian Gerard, otherwise known as Skitch on Twitter, been traveling, so slow to respond. But please know that the constructive feedback is being heard loud and clear. Changes will take time, and our priority this week is giving the team a much-deserved break for the holiday after a long final stretch. Thank you for understanding. Oh my fucking God. You can tell that y'all don't care about nothing other than yourselves sometimes. And this is a problem as us as gamers. The reason I always go back to this RTS view kind of thing and being able to pull yourself out of the world is because there are people working on these games that bring these experiences to life for you. You wouldn't be playing Halo right now if it wasn't for 343 doing all the work that they've done to have the game feel that the way that it does right now. For people to say this is the best Halo since ever. Since 3. We're talking about Bungie days, where people always like to reminisce, oh, you know, there'll never be a Bungie as good, Halo as good as Bungie's. Huh. Guess what? You want to do some stats? You want to do some research? Halo 4 and 5 had better overall ratings than Bungie could ever do for their games. As much as people may not like the campaign, or you may not like the multiplayer on either or. Why are both their games higher rated than Bungie's ever were? It's a good conversation. Bungie left and did Destiny. And it was lower rated than Halo 4 was. So it's like, we have to open up the conversation. It's like opening up the conversation to the monetization issues, the customization issues, the experience issues is one thing. And we could talk about that all day or whatever the case might be. But at some point, when is enough enough? When are you just complaining to be complaining? Because again, like Pong also said, it'll be one thing if they're just like, oh, whatever, y'all got to deal with it. But obviously that they're not. Also, if you look at one of the more recent videos for between Sketch, and I can't think of the other guy's name at the moment, but one of the more recent videos that they did when they were announcing the beta and everything else, they were already in that moment seemingly at odds internally with the system that they have in place. They said during that video, hey, you know, we've heard some complaints and things from the test flights, you know, and we're working on it. And you could tell during that video, Sketch, when I was listening to Sketch and he was explaining it, it sounded like there was a conversation being had in the background in the board meeting. And one side was like, hey, man, I don't think this is going to work. I think that we're going to get a lot of backlash for this. And the other side was like, nah, push it out there. Well, we'll see what happens. Another one of those moments where internally somebody was right or somebody was wrong. Either way, we don't know. But the fact that they're coming out and saying, hey, we hear y'all, we're just on break right now. It's Thanksgiving. We're in the US. This is a national holiday for us. We've been working on this game for at X amount of time. We put it in a brand new engine. The fact that the game is playing as flawlessly as it is an amazing thing in itself. EA, I mean, DICE is still using a similar version of that Frostbite engine. And it's still struggling. And it's supposed to be updated and everything now at this point. It's still struggling. For them to have gone to a new engine, for them to have put all the work behind the scenes and for the game to feel, F-E-E-L, feel the way that it does, the attention to detail. You can't tell me when you're looking at your Spartan's hands as he's holding the gun, the attention to detail isn't there. You can't tell me when you're driving the different vehicles or when you're grapple hooking through onto different pieces of the map that you can't tell that the attention to detail is there. It is. I just like the constant, like, look, everybody is open to complain and have criticisms and everything else. And that's fine. But also, like Pong said, you have a social responsibility for everything that you do online. There are some things that you can say, and you know you're going to get some backlash on. You can't get upset about that. You can't. You put it out there. It's your opinion. Don't get so emotionally invested then if that's the case. I post stuff on Twitter all the time. I'm not thinking twice about how somebody's going to feel about it. I just post it. If it gains traction, it gains traction. If people feel some type of way, they feel some type of way. But it's my opinion.
If you knew yourself, Steele, and you knew that you were going to be sensitive to that, then you would take a different look at it, right?
Exactly. That's why there's sometimes where I write out posts addressing whatever situation or just want to maybe make a snarky comment or something like that. And then I read it 3-4 times and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to post that.
Yeah.
For what? What am I gaining? I'm not gaining anything out of this other than people probably want to talk in the comments and shit all day. I don't have time for that. I play games. I ride a motorcycle. I got a wife and kids that I look after. I got work I got to go to. There's so many other things going on in life that I just can't be consumed by the internet and y'all wanting to argue in the comments. Constructive criticism is one thing, but this bashing that we continuously see within our communities, within just the gaming hemisphere, is a problem. And you wonder why people still have a hard time taking gamers, quote unquote, seriously. It's still a point to, I was listening to a conversation yesterday. Some chick was talking to one of the dudes, or whatever. He was talking about his playing Warzone on PlayStation, or whatever the case. And they were going back and forth. He was talking a little bit about it. You could tell that he was like, he was a Warzone guy. He was a Call of Duty guy. That's what he does. That's what he does when he plays. But she was just like, what's the point in that? Why do you even care? Why do you care about gaming like that? Who does that? So there's still the stigma, and I use that as an example because there's still tons of people who feel that way. And when y'all constantly do this, make it seem like we can't have constructive conversations without personally attacking each other, because there's people who are wanting to fight each other over this type of shit. I don't get it. What are we here for? Are you online to be a bully? Are you online to get away from life? Or what are you here for? And that's why I always go back to, you have to stand on whatever laurels, whatever you stand for as an individual, being confident within yourself. I can't be bullied off my square because I know what I stand for. Nobody's going to argue. I'm not going to argue with somebody what games are for me and what not for me. Whether this free-to-play game is fun or not fun. I'm not going to argue with somebody whether Halo is a good game or it's not. Because I have my own personal opinion. Again, the side conversation, everything is completely different. To move the conversation forward, the whole cheating thing, and I want to really address this crossplay. We want to get into this a little bit. This whole thing with crossplay, because then I want to pass it back off to Pong, because I mean, this is kind of something we talked about in the background too. For me, y'all are really overblowing this whole crossplay thing. I understand. Again, I completely understand. Hey, you want to try to stay away from the cheaters. You don't want to really be surrounded with that. You want to have as balanced of an experience as possible. My only issue with that is that there's people who are cheating on console on a day-to-day basis, and y'all are not bringing that up in conversation. Y'all are acting like it's like it's not happening. I knew a guy for years who went through different Xbox accounts, to this day has a device hooked up to his console that he could program to give him aimbot, to give them an ability to see through walls on his console. The bigger conversation is, what are the companies going to do to start addressing these things? Yes, Halo Infinite, the multiplayer, has anti-cheat. But guess what? We live in a world, we live in 2021 where technology is bigger than ever, internet is bigger than ever. Cybersecurity is a problem. If y'all don't know that, do your research. It's one of the biggest problems in the world right now, keeping network secure, keeping everything in a state where everything can be balanced and be fair and people aren't getting hacked and things to that nature. Every time a new anti-cheat comes out, that's why Destiny still continues to have this problem. Warzone, that's kind of up and down with, because Activision and just that whole team over there has their own personal problems that they got to go through with. And they sometimes don't act like they care about their community overall. So, I mean, that's a different conversation to have, because they do anti-cheat. I don't know how serious they take that. None of these devs are purposely wanting for people to come in and start cheating in the game. That's not the objective. They have anti-cheat in place, but guess what? There's always going to be some form of hacker or some form of somebody who wants to give people a worse experience or wants to turn people's lives upside down, and they're going to figure a way to get around things. Yes, should crossplay be an option? Yes, it should. Should input-based matchmaking be an option? Yes, it should. But there's so many other things that need to be looked at on the back end that need more attention than some of these things that continues to get brought up. Oh, it's 343's fault people are cheating. No, it's people's fault. People don't have lives. People don't give a fuck about you and your feelings and how you're KD. Sorry, guys, I'm here to tell you, cheating isn't a new thing. People have been cheating for generations in gaming. It's a thing. As a PvP gamer, mainly, this is something I've always had to deal with. And I've been playing on PC for the longest. Do I let it take away from my experience? No. Is it not fun when you run into people that are taking over the lobby and are fucking no-scoping you from across the map and everything else? No, it's not fun. But guess what? The only thing that I can do is either get better at the game or not play it. To help, and when I don't play it, then the companies understand, and can't just be me, but when I don't play it, then the companies see by the dwindling numbers, okay, maybe we need to get in here and start adjusting things. Hey, oh, goddamn, well, I mean, we need to figure a way to get around this. And I completely understand that. The other thing, too, is that y'all don't want crossplay. A lot of the people who complain about crossplay don't want crossplay because of the keyboard and mouse players. And there's two sides of the fence to that too, because I've been hearing keyboard and mouse players saying that, oh, they have an advantage in certain games, and controller players saying that, oh, they got an advantage in these other games. I don't care who the fuck you are. Keyboard and mouse has an advantage in any game. Destiny is probably the number one game that has the balance even enough. But Destiny also has tons of fucking aim assist. Tons of aim assist in the game. So it makes it pretty balanced overall, right? Now, there's also workarounds for keyboard and mouse players getting controller type aim assist and things like that, but that's neither here or there. I just feel like
Steel, you just created a new cheater, by the way. Asa says he's downloading an aimbot right now.
Excellent.
He said you convinced him. So
perfect.
Way to go, Steel.
Perfect. Excellent. Go ahead, do your thing. From me, because it's funny, a lot of the videos and everything that I've seen is people saying that there's cheaters are people that are like running out there by themselves, not running with the team. You're playing a team-based game, but running by yourself and getting shot. Well, guess what, my guy? He could not be a cheater. You're going to get shot and you're going to get killed. It is what it is.
I feel personally attacked right now.
You might be. But it's like there's a fine line to play there because I know sometimes it's hard to tell whether somebody is cheating or not. You could say, oh, no, it's not, whatever the case. I've had people tell me plenty of times, especially in Gears of War back in the day, oh, you're a cheater. You're cheating. You got aimbot. You're doing this, that, and the other thing. No, my guy. I play max sensitivity. I'm just good at the game.
Just that good. Yeah.
I'm just good at the game. I'm sorry. There's people out there that are just good at the game. But y'all complaining when you're not running with your team and dying is not a good argument either. And it's like people under these posts aren't even watching the video. They're just commenting, oh yeah, that's why we don't want crossplay. Oh yeah, fuck those cheaters. And the whole team is by themselves. Nobody's team shotting, nothing. You're playing a team-based game and everybody's playing individually. But you're complaining about cheating. Is it a problem? Does it need to be addressed? Do we need to start working on better anti-cheat? Yes, we do. It is a thing. And these companies have to start taking this more seriously. But no company across the world has taken cybersecurity seriously. And that's why it's still a big of a problem as it is. Or just security things overall. It hasn't been taken serious enough. And you could tell that by just looking at how much the security field is lacking with bodies that have the knowledge and capability to handle those back-end systems and make sure that we're taken care of as people. Again, internet's bigger than ever. Gaming is bigger than ever. Electronics are bigger than ever. Have a splash on the market that has never been seen before, and we're only going to get further and further into that. What was another point? That's pretty much a lot of my things. Mostly, like, I'm looking at some notes and everything. We talked about the progression a little bit. Again, I'm right there with the progression. Does it need to be adjusted? Yes. Is this our first foray into it? Yes. Could they look at other people and kind of take some notes from other places? Yes, they could have. Would that have worked for Halo? I don't know. I don't know what kind of ranking system they want to use for that. I don't know if a prestige system would be good in Halo. I mean, I kind of like the ranking system in Gears of War, where you kind of re-up. You get to level 100 and you re-up. It doesn't change anything. It's not like you have to rework. You got to get all your classes again and all your guns again. That's what I don't like about Call of Duty. I don't like that. And why am I prestiging just to unlock all my guns again? I just unlocked all my guns. Now I'm doing it again because I just wanted another loadout? Come on, man. That's lame. To me, that's lame. I don't get it. That doesn't do anything for me. Give me a better reason. If you're going to implement that kind of system, and that's what makes some of these things so great. Because I want to show you, y'all kind of what I sent Pong yesterday, as far as some of the ideas that people are kind of coming up with as far as customization goes. These are the kind of things that you want to do if you want to complain. If you're going to complain, give people ideas, constructive. Say, hey, I don't like this, but this is what you can do to make it better. And people are saying, hey, you can give out these different customization options. Let us change certain parts of the color options, stuff like this. Hopefully y'all can see this. You know, being able to change individual pieces of your armor and things like that. Maybe they didn't think about these things. Maybe they didn't think about, oh, we can add the textures. It might have taken someone else, someone who isn't in the studio, who hasn't been crunching on a game for the last 6 years, who's been just trying to make sure that the core gameplay was okay, was acceptable enough, because they wanted to satisfy not only the older players, but also entice newer players. The gameplay is doing that. And you can tell that was a heavy focus for them. We'll see when the campaign comes out whether that focus is really there or not. Because if between the multiplayer gameplay and then the campaign gameplay, if they're both solid in the best feeling Halo that you have ever experienced, I can give them some leeway. Let this game kind of breathe, kind of live, and then see what we get within the next year, 90 days. I can show you right now, 90 days from now, this game isn't going to be the same as it is right now, and people aren't going to be talking about it the same way that they're talking about it right now. I can guarantee that. But when you see these types of examples of different options and things, this is what you have to, these are the types of things that I like to see when people complain or they have constructive criticism or whatever the case might be. Hey, offer some solutions. What can we do to make it better? And I just feel like a lot of people kind of get away from that. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to bitch about everything instead of offering an opinion piece on, hey, man, what did you think about these things? Or we have to either be right or somebody has to be wrong all the time. You can never be in between. Or we can never offer each other constructive criticism without people getting in their feelings about it. That is my overall problem with this entire situation. It's not with Halo specifically. Do I have my gripes? Again, yes. It's more so about the children that are acting the way that they are about gaming overall. Again, if you need to put this game down because it's not enough for you and there's nothing there to keep you enticed, cool. That's a personal thing for you, though, to be completely honest. And from my perspective, as a PvP gamer, typically the people who aren't enticed enough by the gameplay itself, the game wasn't meant for you. If you have to unlock some form of customization, if you have to unlock cute kitten ears on your Spartan helmet for you to want to continue playing, the game might not be for you. It is what it is. And I find that a lot. One thing that people have seemingly forgot about Halo, and then I'll end my little rant here. One thing that people have seemingly forgot about Halo is that Halo is a skill-based game. It is dependent on you hitting headshots. It is dependent on where you shoot people. It takes all those things very literally. But what I also want you guys to understand is that if it wasn't for Halo, Warzone would not exist. Apex would not exist. What else? Fortnite would not exist. Why do I say that? It's because they all have armor systems that people used to complain about in Halo. That was the number one people used to say, why they don't play Halo. Oh, there's armor in it. No, I don't want to shoot somebody's armor and then have to kill them. Now guess what millions of people are doing? Shooting off armor to kill somebody. Man, it looks like the king set a standard yet again for all the other games that you love, and now is doing it again by starting controversy over little things, and there could be big things in some perspectives, but over things that can be adjusted, that can be changed, because it's not like the core gameplay is trash. It's not. I don't care what you say, it's not. You want to come at me about progression, you want to come at me about customization, it's not the gameplay, and I completely understand. There was this, somebody made a post yesterday where they were kind of, where I was really seeing where they were kind of coming from as far as the perspective goes. And they were saying, hey, we've had customization kind of since Halo 2, them having a free to play model versus, this $60 campaign that we're going to be getting, unless you got Game Pass. Kind of feels like we're losing some things in here, but they also were saying that they understand what they're trying to do with it, and that the free to play option gives them more longevity than it would have otherwise. It's a proven model. You can't say that, oh, this isn't going to work. It's worked for Fortnite. It's worked for Apex. It's worked for Call of Duty. And they're just giving you characters so you can just look a little different. Oh, they're giving you cute guns, and maybe you get a little dragon gun. Oh, your gun breathes fire all of a sudden now. Oh, wow. Does that make you a better gamer? No. Like, that's what gets me about this. Stop saying that it's predatory. Everybody that keeps saying that these things are predatory, you have lost your goddamn mind. Take a break. Pull yourself out of your own ass. Get some help, like my brother Pong Steel says, and go get a life. Predatory is when things are pay to win. That's predatory. Customization, nobody's saying, knocking on your door and saying, hey, Steel, if you don't buy that fucking cat outfit, I'm gonna run in your house and steal your shit. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's saying, yo, if you don't buy those new boots, you're just gonna be trash at the game forever. No, nobody. That's my thing. Again, I want to kind of end my rant there. I wanted to kind of, really attack it from a different angle. This is something that it really bothers me because as someone who has been online gaming for a long time, I understand it. This isn't something new to me. All the complaints and everything, people are going to complain about what they feel like they can complain about. The bigger issue to me is that we as gamers don't see the internal damage that we're doing to the community and to the industry overall by not being able to either offer constructive criticism or kind of just pull ourselves away when we just don't agree with something or feel like our voices need to be heard every fucking second. I don't get that. That's me. Pong, is there anything that you would like to kind of add on some of the things that I said, or kind of want to add some more of your own thoughts into it?
Yeah, look, number one, the funniest part about all of this is that we are literally talking about cosmetics, about how our Spartans look, and about how the progression system doesn't reward or doesn't make us feel rewarded enough. Out of all the things that could be complained about, that's how perfect Halo is. That's how well they have nailed nearly every aspect of what makes a game a game.
What are we talking about?
Which is the gameplay.
Oh my God.
They have nailed everything so well that even the circus has nothing else to find and attack other than whether or not we're getting rewarded enough, fast enough, and whether our Spartan looks good enough without pain.
Oh my God.
That's where we're at with this, right? Everybody, take that RTS view, that satellite view, take a step back and realize that the first major Halo game in 6 years, after all this waiting for the Halo community, for all this
It's all true.
hand wringing over 343 and about whether or not they were going to be able to pull this off because of the issues that people had with 4 and 5, whether it was time for a new studio to take over. After all of that pressure, after Xbox and Microsoft took a huge hit and a courageous step, to this day, I will say one of the biggest moments for Xbox in their history to push back this launch another year when they really could, and they were really, really planning on having it there for the launch of the series consoles.
Mm-hmm.
After all that stuff,
Yep.
we are here today in the multiplayer beta version, complaining about customization, complaining about how our Spartans look, complaining about whether or not we're being rewarded enough. That to me actually is a bigger credit to what 343 has pulling off here with this multiplayer, especially since we have not had a chance to get our hands on the single player yet. But from all the talk out there, the single player is just as impressive as the multiplayer, but we'll see about that.
We'll see.
But right now, the multiplayer has nailed it so perfect as far as what the core gameplay is about, that this is what we have left over. And in this day and age of social media, it has become so popular to find something to complain about, that this is what we're down to at this point. Look, shout out to 343. Congratulations. This, you guys should wear this as a belt of honor, that your fan base is at this point of criticizing just these things versus anything else. The million other things that could be going wrong with Halo multiplayer right now that could be affecting the gameplay itself, that's not happening.
Nope.
And again, shout out to 343 and everybody involved with this game, because you guys did it. And you've pulled it off. All this other stuff, at the end of the day, can be
Fixable.
worked on, can be fixed. There's no game-breaking bugs. There's nothing absolutely destroying people's actual playing
Ability.
of your game, your ability. Everything is in line and is actually, if you talk to the fans who have been around since day one, the people who have played both competitively and non-competitively Halo games,
Yes.
they say this is one of already in beta version,
a week,
one of the best Halos of all time. The absolute king of first-person shooters. Something that nobody ever thought, whether you believe 2 is better or whether you believe 3 is better. A pinnacle that nobody ever thought would be reached again has actually been approached, and may, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, surpass that pinnacle of a former team. Yes, a lot of the original Bungie team is at 343, but we just, everybody likes to compare and say, well, 343 couldn't do it as well as Bungie did. Guess what? They have after all this time. And so I think that's really the satellite view at this point. The RTS view is to take a step back and say to yourself, what are we really, really talking about here? What are we really talking about at the end of the day? And all of our complaints, like Steele just said, can be fixed. Any of the criticism out there right now is stuff that can be worked on and will be worked on, which they've already acknowledged. And this is going to evolve.
Yeah.
But this has the potential to set a new bar when it comes to Halo multiplayer and classic multiplayer overall, which is saying a whole lot. Now that we've gone this far into gaming history, we have so many examples of first-person shooters.
Right.
To say the king is back, and they may be setting a brand new mark. Again, we're not talking about battle royales here. I know everybody's into battle royales, but at the end of the day, it's still about that arena style shooter.
Right.
At the end of the day, that started everything, and Halo is the one that did it. We might have the greatest version of that in 2021 going into 2022.
Yeah.
That is something special. So everybody take a chill pill. Look, I'll say this as well. and I'm sorry, but my allergies are off the charts. Seasonal allergies, man, I can't stand it right now. Look, I'll say this. The intellectual dishonesty going on out there is ridiculous. Ignore it. I saw another battle this morning from some of the prominent circus and some members, well-known members in this community, over stuff. Look, this to compare this game and to compare the monetization to anything like EA loot boxes,
It's not
EA
the same.
packs. When you're paying full price, I saw somebody. I'll just read it. I'm not going to name names because we don't really do that here unless necessary. But this is the direct tweet. Microsoft has chosen to allow Xbox gamers to badmouth $70 games for next-gen games, and instead opting to charge the Xbox fans via microtransactions like we see in Halo Infinite. The same practices all gamers in the gaming industry slandered EA for. No. That's not what EA has been slandered for.
Missed the point.
First of all, they charge you full price for a game.
Yes.
And then on top of it, put pay to win into the game. When you're talking about Ultimate Team. Yeah, when you're talking about the original Battlefront 2 when the loot boxes came out.
Pay to win.
You're talking about locking powerful characters behind loot boxes. Okay. You're talking about Ultimate Team and all those types of styles where you pay full price for a game. But if you want to play the Ultimate Team, you're not going to roll in there with a bunch of scrubs. So then they go ahead and lock away the best players, the best cards behind random packs that you buy. That is what they were slandered for. Not for customization of characters, not for how pretty they were asking you to pay to make your Battlefront character look. That's not what they were being slandered for, because that's not what they were doing. Okay. Again, intellectual dishonesty is rampant in this community and everywhere in the world. Okay. No matter what topic you're talking about.
100%.
But at the end of the day, this is the nonsense that goes on out there. So just mute, move on, block, pass it by. These people get off on the attention that they receive. That's what they go for. And that's all it's about at the end of the day. But again, realistically, what we're seeing here right now is an absolute example of a team that has nailed their game down so well, has nailed every aspect that's important to gaming down so well that we are left to complain about something that really doesn't matter at the end of the day and can be and will be worked on as we move forward. So again, shout out to 343, casual Halo fan here for you people that didn't know. Absolutely love jumping into big team battle, jumping into arena and playing. The game plays so incredibly tight. Again, I'm not a great player. I know I'm getting killed because most of the times it's my mistake. And I hear that from other players who have really played competitively before. Say it. Halo is one of the best examples that if you die, chances are it's because you screwed up. Not because of the game, not because of outside forces. It's because in a one-on-one battle, it truly is the closest thing to mano a mano, right? It's the closest thing to that person's skill versus my skill. And if that person is better than me, chances are I'm losing, right? That's how it goes. And Halo is one of the purest forms of that in first-person shooters. And 343 has done it yet again and probably made it even tighter than any previous entry into this, which is saying a lot when you look at the history. So celebrate it. Celebrate. Yes, we can have constructive criticism. Yes, we've done that. They've heard us. They're going to work on it. If they fix it again, if they improve things, great. If they come out with a new system and it just ain't quite right, guess what? We'll be here to say something about it again. But again, do it constructively. The attacks and stop attacking other members of the community just because they may not be enjoying it the same way you are right now. That's okay. That's okay. Again, I'm here publicly saying I'm a casual Halo fan. Halo is not my biggest game in the world, which some people can say, what? How? Look, it just ain't. So that's the way it is. And that's okay. Again, that's not a problem. use your energy elsewhere. Life is way, 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 way too short, let me tell you. So again, great rundown there, Steel, on your part. Crossplay, as far as that goes, I don't have a big opinion. I think the option should be there.
Yes, I agree.
Again, you can go on your Xbox and turn it off for every game.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that's the most convenient way to do things? No, of course not. At the end of the day, I think that it should be within game that you can turn that off.
Right.
But if that's how they're going to roll with it, that's how they're going to roll with it. I guess if I get to the point where I feel like I have to turn it off, it doesn't matter to me that much. I guess I'm just not as to that level of competitiveness where I feel like, hey, if I roll into a game that's majority of keyboard and mouse and I'm getting destroyed, oh well, for me, it's just another game, right? I just like, whatever. That's the way it is for me in Battlefield, my main first person shooter. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I'd rather have full lobbies. I'd rather, to me, it doesn't matter. But if you are bothered by it, I get it. And I understand why. As far as the cheating goes, look, they are attempting, like Steele said, every company's out there, or most companies, some companies to a greater degree show that they actually care about it than others. But most companies are attempting to stop the cheaters. But like Steele said, guess what? There's cheaters in everything in life. It's just going to be that way. I hate to say deal with it. We can talk about it. We can ask them to do better and try things. But at the end of the day, you are going to kind of just have to deal with it. If you lose to somebody who you really look, the oldest excuse in the book, going back to when he's cheating. The computer cheated. Okay. The AI was cheating when I was playing games on Nintendo. You can't tell me it wasn't. You can't tell me that programming wasn't in there. Okay. So that's the oldest excuse in the book. But if you honestly feel like you were in a match with somebody who's cheating,
report him. Move on.
Chalk it up, man. Just chalk it up. Say, hey, look, there was nothing I could do, and move on. Next match, you won't have to deal with them. That's the way it rolls. So, but they are working out, they're trying, they're attempting, and I think they are going to take it seriously because already, Steel, I don't know if you saw this, but neither one of us really brought it up. Did you see the esports heating up already for Halo? They're going to have one of, I read somewhere that there's going to be one of the biggest pots in history, if not the biggest pot in history, for a tournament coming up during the beta.
I think it's like 11 million, ain't it?
Yeah,
or
something
like that.
Already Halo is already marching back into esports.
Yeah.
And guess why? That's because the game is so dang good that esports community has already taken notice that Halo, the King, is back.
And people are watching it.
Huge boon. And guess what? That is also going to push 343. If they get the esports side of thing going,
that's money.
It's money. And they're going to really take the cheating aspect
very seriously.
Very seriously, because that's huge, right? That's a huge part of esports. So guess what? That's going to trickle down to the general public as well. So we're in good hands. I have complete faith in 343. I'm the first one to admit that early on, before Halo launched, before we had the flights and all that kind of stuff, I was highly critical of 343. I still think that I hope there's been a review done, because I don't, again, I'm not internal. I don't know anything. I'm outside being armchair CEO. I just know that some of the stuff that we've heard and seen through the years, things weren't right at 343.
They weren't. That's obvious.
And I was critical of them, and I think rightfully so. As far as just an opinion-based criticism, I can have that opinion that 343 could have done things better, and I see some things that maybe shouldn't have happened.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what matters is the delay happened. Joseph Staten was brought back. Everything seemed to solidify. Everything seemed to calm down. Everything seemed to refocus. And guess what? At the end of the day, we are getting one hell of a Halo. And if the single player comes even close to the multiplayer, and again, all the early previews, it sounds like we are, man, was it worth it? The wait was well worth it. The turmoil was well worth it. And this is going to go down in history as one of the best Halos to sit back and enjoy. Let's see what we get. Let's just take a step back and see what we get at the end of the day. But man, they're on the right path.
Hey, Pong, just to throw out some quick smoke before we move on.
Yeah.
But the campaign is $60. Anyway, it'll be another conversation that we can have when that time comes. For people to tell me that for it not to have everything, it's not worth the money, but you'll pay that for a game that promised you another mode and still hasn't released it almost 2 years later. But we won't get into that right now. All right. So it looks like we knocked out the Halo Infinite situation. We also dived in a little bit into crossplay. From here, we got a couple ways we can go. We could kind of wrap things up. We could touch on actually, let's not wrap things up. Let's announce that lucky winner for that.
We got some winners today. Let's winner chicken dinner. Let's do some PUBG winners here.
Well, let's do some winners, man. So for those of you paying attention, ladies and gentlemen, how are we gonna do this, Paul? Do they still need to hit us? Do they need to be paying attention live for the codes?
The 70. Well, how do we want to do this, man? Well, the controller, no.
No, the controller's different. We got that.
Dutch is gonna reach out to them.
Right.
No, they don't have to be live for that one. As far as the $75 go,
I know me and you be kind of up in air. I feel like we decided on something in the background.
You know what? We'll hit them up at this point.
Word.
Do you think? Or do you want to keep it rolling? You want to keep it rolling?
Do I want to keep it rolling? For me, I just want, because my biggest thing is I want people who tune into the show to feel rewarded, right?
And that was part of Country Gentleman's original. Okay, all right. That was part of originally why Country Gentleman did it. So
right.
So let's keep it the spirit of this. So we are going to announce the winner of the $75 gift. Well, it's 2 codes, but it's total of $75 to one person. Xbox gift cards. We'll give them again until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to DM either myself or Steel. So again, if you're listening to this in the future and you're not here in the chat, you still can win. You just got to DM us by Monday night, 11:59 p.m. If it doesn't happen, we'll just re-roll the names again and try again.
And to let you know what kind of can determine this, this is based off of the posts and the retweets that Country Gentleman set up. The original giveaway was basically, hey, you retweet it, and if you're tuning in live during the show, you're going to get this code. One lucky winner is going to get this code, and that's what we're basing it off of. So every time that we end up re-rolling it, we're going back to that same post, taking everybody who retweeted and rolling them back through to see who we land on. So to do that now, drum roll. Ooh, that was a terrible drum roll, but that is fine. We're going to get into it. I have to say, the winner of the $75 Xbox gift card is that magnificent and wonderful, the Power of Metal. Power of Metal X777. I believe it is on Twitter. If you are listening, hey man, you have until Monday. Whether you listen to this on the audio platform, if you listen to it on the back end on YouTube, as I don't see you in chat right now, you have until Monday. Hey, and for those people who know of Power Metal, you might want to let homie know. But you have until Monday, because we're not going to contact you. We want you to be. That's the whole point of the giveaway. The whole point of the giveaway. You have to be turning in live.
Can't stop anybody else, but hey.
Yeah, can't stop anybody else, but that's part of the thing. You had to be live, unless your homie told you. But again, the Power of Metal, and that looks like it's at Power Metal X777 on Twitter. You are the lucky winner. You have until Monday night at 11:59 p.m. to claim those codes, or we will move on to the next roll. With that being said, we do have one more lucky winner. And I believe we had, I think Marion dropped in some codes for us too. I don't know if he did it today. We might have to be, that might be something we're doing next weekend. So stay on the lookout for that. But you still have to stay tuned in, because towards the end of the show, now we'll probably we'll do one, maybe 2 more topics here. But right after the This Day in Gaming segment, I will be announcing the winner of the custom PS5 or Series controller that the wonderful man Wandering Dutch, the creative himself, if you not seen his work, Check out Wandering Dutch on Twitter. Man, the creativeness that this man has, the attention to detail that he imbues. I don't know if you guys have seen the Hellblade console that he made. My God, it's an amazing, it's a beautiful thing, and I feel like you guys are going to love whatever he ends up customizing for you.
Ninja Theory even retweeted his custom console. That's how impressive his work is. Hand done, true art, for sure. Again, art is subjective, but again, this man does everything by hand, old school way. It's beautiful work. I absolutely love it. So,
right.
Yep. Congratulations to
amazing
the winner. Yeah, for sure.
Facts. The Sea of Thieves one. My point with that is that he does excellent work. Whatever design that he ends up doing for you, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love, and it's something that you can probably put on display and show all your friends and everything.
Yeah, there was an article done by I think Jez actually picked up on that for Windows Central of the Sea of Thieves one. So yeah.
So that's an amazing thing. All right. So where do you want to kind of take it from here, man? We can get through one or two more things, kind of touch on. We got CD Projekt Red talking about Cyberpunk and how, with a little bit more time, they're going to end up.
Sure. Let's hit this real quick. Again, these are going to be quick hitters. So again, quick hitters to us is a normal topic for everybody else, but let's go. CD Projekt Red. Yeah, go ahead, Steel. Lead up with it if you got it sitting there. What they said.
Okay, so I got to pull it back up again, but for basically what ended up happening, CD Projekt Red, they came out and said, hey, eventually our game is going to be really good. And I give you that brief moment of silence because, damn, didn't we say that? Hey, if the game needs more work, just delay it. Now, again, me and Pong's perspective is going to be different from a lot of people's. Me and Pong are definitely on the line that we had a really good experience with Cyberpunk. Was it as great as it could have been? No, it's not what was promised. If you want to put it that way, it's not what we were anticipating. Put it that way. But as far as the story goes, as far as like the gameplay and everything else, the game was magnificent to me and to Pong, to be completely honest with you. And you can't talk me off that square. You can't say, oh, well, how about all these other things? Because no matter what you bring up, I can guarantee you, me and Pong probably didn't have that same experience. And I can acknowledge that. I know that Cyberpunk was not in a good position, is not in a good position. Has it gotten better? Yes. But was blatantly obvious that the game needed time and more work done to it. But for them to now come out and say, hey, over time, the game's going to be perfect. It just seems like a constant thing for CD Projekt Red. And I don't know if it's, more so, I'm not going to say I don't know, because I could take an educated guess and say that their publishers or the people in the higher seats forcing them to consistently put out games that aren't ready is doing nothing but negatively impacting the devs overall. And it's part of the reason why in this industry, devs don't last long as it is. You squeeze all the juice out of them, and then you expect them to still be motivated at the end of a project. After saying, oh, it should have been delayed. Oh, just push it out. We'll fix it later. The only thing you're really damaging is the hype on the game, the IP itself, the devs, their families, and just running people dry. Pong, as someone who enjoyed the whole Cyberpunk experience, and to see CD Projekt Red come out and say, hey, well, eventually this game's going to be great. How does that kind of make you feel as someone who had a good experience with Cyberpunk 2077? Love the story, love the world, and everything that it brought. How do you kind of feel about that at this point?
To kind of give another
aspect
of the to give another aspect too. Not only did you have the interview with CD Projekt Red and one of the leads over there, I forget his name offhand. Apologize, I didn't have that article up. Paul Tassi, also from Forbes. Paul Tassi, great writer over at Forbes. I know people have their personal opinions about Paul Tassi as well, but he does do good work much of the time for Forbes. I've had some disagreements with him. Steele and I have talked about that on here as well, criticized some of his comments in the past. However, he had an article that just came out yesterday that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting review bombed again, but positively this time over on Steam.
Good point. Thank you.
Of course, Cyberpunk has been on sale nonstop through Black Friday here, and even the weeks leading up to it, you could find it for $10. There was sales going on. But anyways, it's having a Steam sale. And he said Cyberpunk 2077 is having a tiny bit of a moment right now for Black Friday, aka Steam's autumn sale. A 50% discount has caused the game to rocket up to the top of Steam's most sold list for the moment. That's not only the that's not the only impressive thing that's happened with the game. A load of new players this past month have been bombing the game with love. A flood of satisfied reviews are pouring in, with 84% of them on Steam being positive. 84%. Yo, look. That's huge.
Yeah.
Look, to say, we were just talking about Halo and how right now Halo is, despite the criticism about the progression and the cosmetics, overall, it's cool right now to be playing Halo again, which is crazy to say after all these years, but it is the big thing right now, right? It's being streamed a ton. It is a cool thing to be loving Halo again. I have seen more videos, more pictures, more clips consistently of Halo. It's like Halo and Forza all over my Twitter pages. Right. That's kind of what you're at right now. Well, when Cyberpunk launched, because of all the problems, and again, for anybody who was not here during that time frame, maybe just jumped in the community or just joining me and Steele.
Right.
Steele and I loved the game, like Steele talked about. However, we did acknowledge that other people's experiences, as Steele just said as well, were not the same as ours. If you were playing on last gen consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, I acknowledged that your experience was absolutely abysmal compared to what I was experiencing. I cheated. I had the Series X early. Steele played on PC. Okay. So our experiences were some of the best experiences you could have of Cyberpunk. And there was still issues. However, like a lot of games nowadays, it seems to be like back in the day when a game was broken in some way, everybody would experience the same type of bugs. Now what we're seeing is that there's a lot of people that randomly experience more bugs than others, even if you're playing on the same system. Perfect example is Battlefield 2042. Okay. When the beta came out, I experienced a lot less problems than Fun Speculation, shout out Mav, in the chat was on his Series X. I was watching his live stream going, I'm not seeing any of that. That was crazy. Same thing happened with Cyberpunk 2077. You could be both playing on a Series X, but there were people that were still having major bugs on the Series console versus me, who, yes, I had bugs. Also should mention that bugs to me don't bother me as much as some other people do unless it's game breaking. I can deal with visuals. I don't get pulled out of the experience like some people do due to certain things happening on screen. I'm used to buggy games, and to me, it's never been a problem. Okay. Again, I played Bethesda games. Not a problem. Okay. Again, they're part of the charm for me. But back then when Cyberpunk launched, due to the negativity, due to the CD Projekt Red's own negligence and lying from their upper management about the status of the game, the state of the game on last gen consoles, right? That was flat out wrong. They flat out lied. They had every right to be persecuted. They needed to be, because they lied flat out to their customers. Okay. We saw the whole fallout, but because of all that, it became cool to hate on Cyberpunk 2077. People who never even touched the game were calling it straight up trash. And that's a whole nother conversation that we can have. Steele and I just had a nice little talk about that again last night too, about what's appropriate if you don't play a game. You can still have an opinion.
Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. You can have an opinion about a game you haven't played. I'm not one of those people that say you have to play a game to have an opinion on it. There's certain aspects of a game that you definitely can have an opinion on. But to flat out come out and just simply say a game is trash because it's the cool thing to do, and you get in that mob mentality, well, everybody online is ripping on Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to rip on it too. Look, that's wrong. Okay. That part of it's wrong. For those of us that had a great experience on the title,
Mhm.
I'll flat out say it again for anybody who hasn't heard me personally. It's my game of last gen. Okay. Agrees with me. Jez has taken his fair amount of heat now at this point. He played on PC, had a great experience. He actually gave it a perfect score. People are bringing that back up again nowadays to rip on him, try to reduce his credibility about how he look. At the end of the day, it's an opinion. Okay. It's not, there's no experts out there when it comes to gaming. It's everybody's opinion. Okay.
Right.
That's how this rolls. But it was my last game of last gen, even though I cheated and I played on a series console, and I freely say that up front. Cyberpunk 2077 at its core, take out all the BS. At its core is still a CD Projekt Red RPG. Okay. At its core, CD Projekt Red is still one of the best writing teams out there when it comes to Western RPGs. It's why The Witcher 3, people forget too, to this day, our short-term gamer memories.
Yeah.
When Witcher 3 came out, it was a broken game. Okay. People had so many issues that there was problems. They gave away DLC for free to try to make up for it, much like they're going to do with Cyberpunk. That DLC, because they put so much time and effort into DLC and to fixing the core game, is why we have The Witcher 3 today. That is considered one of the best RPGs of all time by many people.
Right.
Okay. I can't say that because I've tried multiple times to get into The Witcher 3. And as much as I love RPGs, I've failed each and every time. I'm going to go back again because I really want to love the game. The combat is where I have a problem.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I know. For me. I know. So it's like one of those games, but I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to it because they're going to release a next gen patch for it. And I'm going to go back to it again. I've already got it downloaded and everything. It's been sitting there forever. So for Cyberpunk to go through the same process, I don't think is out of the realm of possibilities. To get back to the original point of this, like I said, small topics for people turn into normal topics for me and Steel. To get back to the original topic, as far as them coming out and saying that they think that this game will be talked about for years and that it will finally meet the expectations of what they originally had, I can see that happening in the long run. Because there is enough of us out there that absolutely truly enjoyed this game and think it's one of the best RPGs we've played, or right up there in the top 10.
Yeah.
It is at its core. The side missions, some of the side missions in CD Projekt or in Cyberpunk are just like The Witcher. They are actually almost better than some of the main storylines. Now, is there some filler in there? Yeah, there's some filler in there. There's always going to be in a big open world. It is what it is. But as far as exploring that type of world, it is one of the most fun experiences I've had since Skyrim. Okay. As far as exploring the world, finding different random spots that you just come across, there's no precursor. There's nothing telling you that you're going to come across something happening, and it's just happening.
Right.
I love that. That's what I love about Skyrim. Okay. Absolutely love it. Cyberpunk gives you the same type of feels in certain instances. Now, is it everything that they said it was going to be? No. Is the living world that they promised with people having full daily lives and you can follow? Is that no? It's not there. No. And people complain about that. The cop AI, terrible. Of course, the police AI, it goes back to old Grand Theft Auto style police. Okay, it's not good. Okay. Those problems do exist. I acknowledge those. It's not what they set up the expectations for, and that is their problem. That is not a customer. A lot of times I'll say that's a you problem. No. This was the company's problem, okay? Yeah. They set themselves up for the backlash that they got and the fire burning that they got. They deserve every ounce of it from the people who fired up their PS4, Xbox Ones, and experienced and expected a
a completely different experience than the broken one they got. They 100% agree. And for the people who do listen to these companies literally and say, hey, I'm going to have this amazing experience with all of these things included in that, and if the game doesn't live up to it, and that's a disappointment because they laid down their hard-earned cash, again, I have no problem with you all saying that it's not living up to my expectations and CD Projekt Red failed on that aspect. I have zero issue with you people that have that opinion at all. For me, did I have higher expectations for certain aspects of this game? Absolutely, I did. At the end of the day, does it bother me? No. And you can say that that's just me. Okay. I don't get, unless a game again is completely broken or unless a game really fails at a lot of different aspects, I don't have a problem. I can still look at the game and say it was money well spent. I paid, again, day one, right? So for me, I don't have a problem with the game at all. I still think it's game of the generation. And I think that they are right in saying that if they put as much time, and I hope they do, because I want a sequel, Steel. I'm afraid they're never going to touch this franchise again. I'm really afraid that they're not going to touch this franchise again, which I think would be a mistake, because I think that from what they learned, again, they should have just cut off the old gen. You and I had this conversation. They should have just cut off the last 100%. Gen. When they got to year 6 in development and saw how it was running, they should have said, look, they should have come out and been honest with everybody, apologized, made their apologize and said, look, the scope of this game has gotten so huge. We've put so much work into these years. We cannot deliver that experience on previous gen, which would have been current gen PS4, Xbox One consoles. We just can't do it. We're sorry. The game has moved on from a technology standpoint. We just can't do it. We're going to have to cut out that. We're going to refund everybody's pre-orders. Okay. We apologize for the disappointment, but we're not going to ship you a broken game. That would have gone, it would have been bad at the time, but it would have been better for them. So they could have just focused on the current upcoming consoles, which would have been PS5, Series console, and PC, and delivering the best version possible to those. And I think that would have done them a better service. Of course, the investors were never going to let that happen. But that's what should have been done. So I think at the end of the day, if they put as much time and effort into this game as they did The Witcher 3, if they deliver on their promises, and again, we already know they've broken their promises yet again, they delayed their roadmap further. That's fine if they get it right. I don't care. If they do that and they give this all the TLC it needs, I truly believe this could be a game that people are rediscover or discover for the first time. I bet you, Steel, I can almost guarantee it. I'd bet all my money, which isn't a whole lot, but I would bet all my money that a lot of the people that bought Cyberpunk on that Steam sale are the same people that were online complaining about it. And I can guarantee you they bought it and went, oh, well, I guess this is pretty dang good. I can guarantee you there were some minds changed. And I think that will continue to happen, because everywhere I went this weekend or this past week when I was out shopping, Cyberpunk was sold out everywhere physically from all the stores, right? So they all had their big sales. It was on sale for $10. All those copies were gone. Those were all people that didn't have it before. They're going to discover for the first time. And for all the people that are waiting for the series and PlayStation 5 patches, I totally understand why you guys are doing that and agree with it. And, shout out to you guys for being patient. When you guys do finally sit down and play this game, I know that we're going to have a ton of content. There's going to be so much. Starfield is going to be coming out. There's going to be so much to play. I think that Cyberpunk is good enough to leave a lasting impression with all of you. And I think that you will play that game and you'll go, dang, now I know what people were talking about the whole time, the people that really enjoyed this game. This is a great RPG. I think you will find that game is special at its core. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Could they have done more? Absolutely, they could have. But I think at the end of the day, when they're finished with it, which is crazy to say again, yes, we're accepting broken games. I understand that argument. When they're finished with this game, it will be one of those games that people do go back to and continuously play, because there is a lot to experience in there. So I definitely think they are right. As crazy as it sounds, I think they are right about this one.
Yeah, it's just funny to me because you see a lot of people who are backing down off of this conversation, or we're getting bullied off of enjoying Cyberpunk, and then me and Pong have just been kind of over here just saying, hey man, we loved it. Shit. I mean, to be honest with y'all, to give y'all perspective, again, if you haven't heard it, between Pong and Tempest Sun were the reasons I ended up even getting the game anyway. I had interest in it, but again, I already had interest in it. But I was like, I don't know, single player game, this, that, and other thing. They're promising all these things. And I saw Pong and Tempest having such a good time with it. And I said, you know what? Let me jump in and see what happens. And I loved the game. I did. I thought it was a very enjoyable experience, and I had my moments with it where it was just like, where there was a cutscene and then I couldn't see what was going on in the cutscene because it wanted to pull me outside and I could only look at my car for like the next 15 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I've had those moments. So I've had to go back and look at those cutscenes and watch those cutscenes over. And that is unfortunate. It does pull you out of the experience. But out of the 50 hours that I took to play the game, beat the game, and get get the best ending in the game, I'm thoroughly satisfied. I saw Doom Reaper bring up a point. Hey, is it good enough for you to go back to? Personally, if they release more DLC over time, I would not mind going back to it. If they release more story content,
give us a Jackie origin story. Give us a
something
Jackie
like that.
Origin story. Oh god,
something like that.
Yeah,
I would definitely.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with single player games is that they get that one chance with me, and then I never go back.
Yeah, you are like that.
And other people do. Other people, they can play single player games over and over again, whatever the case. Yep. No, you have one time with me on the hardest difficulty. And I give you everything in that one playthrough, and I will not go back.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk,
and Doom Reaper, I will be going back for sure. Just to answer your short answer.
Cyberpunk could be a little bit different if they release more DLC. I do want to see how it feels playing it some years later. You know what I'm saying? I do want to get that kind of an aspect to see what it's kind of feeling like. But I wanted to touch this in here because the president for CD Projekt Red brought up some good points. But this is what he said overall. He said the CD Projekt Red believes Cyberpunk will be considered a very good game in the long run. They go on to say, because he spoke in an interview with Polish economic newspaper Rzeczpospolita, which I don't know who those people are, but Adam Kaczynski argued that the brand awareness generated by this game means it will eventually be seen as a success despite its rocky launch last December. Now, this kind of touches on what Pong was saying and everything when he was talking about The Witcher. He goes on to say Cyberpunk 2077 is the biggest, most ambitious, and definitely the most complicated project in our 27-year history. Yeah, I can see that. Kaczynski, and that's what he said. In almost every aspect, we tried to take it a step further, just as we've done with every Witcher game. Releasing a game in a new franchise brings many challenges and risks, especially when the concept is so complex. We brought to life a huge, vibrant, futuristic city called Night City where the characters' non-linear stories take place. We're proud of many aspects of the game, but as we know, not everything went our way. Nevertheless, the brand awareness of Cyberpunk that we've managed to build is huge. In the game universe, its characters and details have fans all over the world. Now, Doom Reaper, I did see you bring up another good point. How late is too late after you to fix the game after you launch it? That is one of the number one caveats that single player games have. You don't have to have FOMO. You get to it when you get to it. That's why people can go back and play Jedi Fallen Order, a year-old game, almost if not longer, and still enjoy it. That's why I typically like going back to those single player games after it's been out for a while, because you get all the DLC there. And then again, me as someone who enjoys that one experience and will never go back to it, I would prefer that because I'm getting the full experience. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is the perfect example. I never played Mass Effect. I didn't play it until this Legendary Edition came out this year. And
Nix, I can almost guarantee you that's not going to happen. He said CDPR also said that if it ever graces the Switch, it will be a flawless port.
Oh, yeah,
he's just kidding. But yeah, no, no.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, goodness gracious. But Yeah, I mean, but overall, that's the thing with it. They had their issues. The marketing was over the top. They promised a lot of things that didn't come out, and the game should have got pushed back. And it is what it is.
Most hyped game in the past decade, at least.
Yes.
It was the most hyped game of all, probably one of the most hyped games of all times.
100%.
It was crazy. It started it was actually 8 years from the time it was announced, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, 100%. Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Again, one of those things. Hey, Cyberpunk's on sale. You get it on sale. You want to jump into it? Give it a try, man. I'm never gonna shy anybody away from that, and it's an amazing thing.
And I don't doubt that it's going to show up on Game Pass. They've denied it, but there was a small clip, a part of the Xbox celebration,
right?
When they showed up,
there.
But it looks like it was a Cyberpunk screenshot. Of course, CDPR said we have no plans of doing that. Look, when the next gen patch is ready next year to spark that interest, I do not doubt that it drops back into Game Pass again. It would make total sense for that game. It would be great for Xbox as well, because they were marketing partners. It's another unfortunate, not good marketing deal that Xbox did. They try with some big games, and it just seems to never work out for them that the big game hits like the way it's supposed to when they're marketing it. But I think it would be great for Xbox as well, and give that game a little bit of second life. Yes, there's going to be a ton of games to play, but trust me, that Cyberpunk name, good or bad or indifferent, is ingrained in people's minds, and people will be curious just to jump into it and to lower that barrier entry. Even though it'll probably be on sale everywhere again when that happens, to lower that barrier entry is all it takes is, hey, you could probably even stream it from the cloud at that point on your console. People are going to try it just to see, just to be curious.
Right.
And I bet you it grabs some people for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's an amazing thing, man. Like Nick was saying, play what you want to play and enjoy it. If it's not right for you to come back to the game, it's your world.
Hey, what you love what you play.
Exactly. That's what we preach here all the time.
That's
so,
right.
Kind of want to tell, we could jump into, again, we're kind of hitting some of these heavier, these quick topics and everything, just because, I mean, it has been
topics for stealing.
Quick topics. And we end up talking about Cyberpunk for fucking 25 minutes. Again, we talk about these things in the background. We're like, we'll talk about, that should be a short conversation. It'll be all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then look at we're almost 3 hours in already. I did want to kind of touch on a little bit about Jason Ronald and everything that he kind of, shout out to the Iron Lords podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful guys over there. They had Jason Ronald on for an interview, talking about just all the different technical marvels. They asked him the question of whether game DVR was something that they were focused on, whether the back compat was going to be the end of it, or there was more coming, or what was more behind the scenes on that. And some of the points that I pulled out from there was, let's just start off with the game DVR situation, or just being able to pull content from your Xbox console. He basically it was in the plans. It was high on their list to get done this year, but due to unfortunate circumstances, them wanting to make sure that the console was just going to do fine, and some other things that they had going on in the background, they weren't able to get to it. And that's why it has not been fixed yet. He did say that it is number one on their list, top priority for as they go into 2022, to get that adjusted. Right now, again, we're in the holidays. People are taking breaks. They've been working hard on this, and they've actually done really well. These consoles are, I think, this console generation has been one of the better console generations overall, especially when we were, led to believe that it was going to be dead. Going into 2022, it was going to be dead. Things are kind of turned on their head, and things are completely different now. So to hear him say those things, to see her, because people have constantly brought that up, and for him to say, hey, it's on our list. It was a focus of ours, but there was other things that got brought up that we had to focus on first. I felt like it was an important thing because, again, it shows you that they're listening. A lot of the conversation that he had during that, the biggest pieces that I took out of there is that they take listening to the community and evolving the ecosystem very seriously. It's not something that they're just like, oh yeah, let's just throw some stuff on the wall, see what sticks. No, they're like testing this stuff over and over and over again over the years. And that kind of leads me into the whole gaming, the whole back compat, because he said there's not going to be any more coming. At least on that front. Given frame boosts and everything else. And mainly because at this point, they've gone back and did as much as they could with a lot of the games, either for licensing purposes or game breaking purposes. They could not bring those other games forward. I still think it's an extremely amazing thing that we're able to go back generations, that they were able to go back generations, get these games to play at 60 frames or give them a resolution boost or whatever the case might be. The fact that's just a technical marvel to me in itself, because typically you aren't able to do that unless you have the original devs go in and adjust those things and do some more work in the back end. The fact that all they had to do was get an okay and then it just worked is an amazing thing. Now, could most of that be there's people out there with these IPs who want to remaster their games or re-release their games? That could be very well possible, right? There are some good examples of that and everything. But with that, I just feel like overall, Jason Ronald made a lot of good points as far as being part of the hardware team and everything. He made a lot of excellent points as far as their vision, kind of just, explaining to the people what they're working on, that they've been kind of consistent on this for over the years, that they're kind of taking this time to kind of wind down a little bit before they ramp all the way back up into next year, and then it's full steam ahead as they get everything else knocked out and worked on for us. Again, it's an amazing thing to see people like him, because he doesn't have to come out and explain anything to us. He can just stay on Twitter, he can make his little comments, and then leave it at that. And the fact that even this is like the second or third time I've seen him on Iron Lords myself, it's just speaks to the bigger picture, again, of what Xbox is accomplishing, or of what, and hopefully what I would like to see from other companies going forward. Hey, be upfront. Let us know what's going on. You want us as gamers to invest more. You want us to get our kids involved, or to get the next generation to be fully involved. Be open. Let us know what's going on. What is on your mind? How you approach these different situations? At the end of the day, none of us are going to understand. 3/4 of the community doesn't want to take the time out to understand that game development is a lot deeper than just slapping some stuff together and then it just works. People dedicate their life to doing these things, and a lot of the points he brought up were amazing. Paul, how did you feel about the Jason Ronald interview? Kind of the things that he's kind of been touching on over the year, just kind of going back and forth, and then also with him being on Iron Lords and saying some of the things that he was bringing up about backwards compatibility and bringing the hardware forward and making the DVR better, and some of the other things that they had in plan. How are you feeling about that entire situation, and what kind of how does it make you feel in that?
Love it. And again, shout out to Iron Lords. They're doing big things over there. To get people like Jason Ronald down there and others that they have. They've had people from Obsidian on there. They had some of the devs from it. They're just doing really great things. So shout out to all those guys. Nothing but love and respect over there for everything they got going on. But Jason epitomizes the overall character of Xbox and their management team right now, and what they've put together over there. He epitomizes the culture that they are trying to not only just portray as a kind of goodwill gesture, but they actually believe in that culture, which you can't say about every company. And I'm not throwing shade, because big companies, a company that is inside a $2 trillion company, $2.5 trillion market cap company, doesn't necessarily have to be who they are. But in this industry, in the games industry, they are proving how beneficial it is to be these type of open, accessible people, even in upper management. I've seen Jason Ronald address and help people on Twitter, random people, not talking about known people, not talking about, the Rands of the world that have talked to Xbox. I'm just talking about random gamers on Twitter asking questions about problems they're having, and adding Jason Ronald. And obviously he doesn't sit around all day just waiting for somebody to have a question for him. But if he's on Twitter and he has a moment, I've seen him respond and help walk through problems with random gamers. That doesn't happen. We're talking about one of the engineering heads at Xbox. We're talking about basically one of the biggest brains involved, responsible for the series consoles, right? We're talking about the man.
Right.
And he's taking his time out during the day, which I'm sure is limited as it is already, to do something like that. Just speaks volumes to character. Okay. Just speaks volumes. 100%. And to go on a show like Iron Lords, not, they're doing big, huge things, but he could choose to go on only the mainstream big time channels like IGN. He could choose it. No. He comes down and he talks to real people and real gamers. And that's what it's about. So all of his comments, I love listening to him talk because he is as transparent as he can be. I love the Iron Lords. They always try to trip him up and asking, questions about what's next game you're looking forward to, Jason, and that kind of stuff, and they always try to trip him up, but he laughs and he jokes with them and he is as transparent as he possibly can. So as far as the backwards compatibility stuff, he really went in depth about how hard of a process it is.
Yes.
Because so many of those games have been lost to history.
Yeah.
The licensing, he said that the nightmare it is to try to track down the licensing on some of these IPs. Like we've tried to look up things.
Even the devs.
Yeah, the devs, because the teams are all broken up. The studios are gone. Everybody's gone. You can't find them, right? Excuse me.
You're good.
You can't find them, so to track down some of the licensing on this stuff, try Googling some licensing on some old games. You'll get lost. Like there's like dead ends everywhere.
Right.
Like you don't know where that license lies. So to go back and to try to find that stuff, then to get the games to work, then to game test the game in its entirety. Think about some of the RPGs they brought from backwards compatibility, to be able to test those games through, as much as possible to make sure it's not broken anywhere. Like he was talking about, there's games that have worked flawlessly with FPS boost all the way up until the last boss. And then it's broken. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's not a code level, right? It's not coding. It's not at a code level. They are doing this through, a software basically.
Right.
So there's nothing they can do about it. It's just broken. And they're not going to put the game on backwards compatibility, even if people want to have it so badly. They're not going to do it because they can't. The game's broken. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't put that out there. So just incredible the amount of effort and work that has gone into this. He talked about how they started out the year, thinking they were only going to have a handful of games. And then by the end of the year, up to the last minute, he said they were getting approvals done, which was crazy on some of the games, some of the games that people really wanted. They got approvals, and he said it was such an awesome time that they could get those approvals. He was so excited because there was games he thought weren't going to happen that actually came through at the end.
Right.
So that was cool to hear. Like I said, my personal opinion is officially public facing, they have to say the backwards compatibility is done, because right now they've ran out of options. Like there's no more left to really go after.
Right.
They've been turned down, whatever the case may be. I still think in the background, they work on trying to get some more. And I think this becomes a yearly deal.
Yeah.
Could be totally wrong, but I think it becomes a yearly deal. Acquisitions could happen. Partnerships could happen. Like the Sega partnership could lead to more backwards compatibility.
Could.
Titles, right? It could. Like all that stuff is going to happen as the years go by. And I think that yearly, whether it's 5 games or whether it winds up being 20 games, I think we have a yearly point, maybe right around this time, that we get a surprise gift. And they're like, hey, we just added a couple more backwards compatibility titles, right? Came through. So I think that's going to continue to happen. As far as the DVR stuff goes, this is like, I understand people could say, well, just go get a capture card. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that simple. It's not for everybody.
It's not that simple and it's, again, we're talking about outside the bubble here.
Right.
Okay? Again, our own little world, even for me, that's not an answer for me. I'm not going to go do that. Maybe once I get my rig and stuff and I'm making videos and doing it, all right, great.
It's not a good excuse. Even then, it's not a good excuse though.
Right. It's not a good excuse. But for the masses, it should be simple. And you know what? Actually, because we're in 2021, going into 2022 at this point, there are so many third-party companies out there that work on this exact type of scenario and that have their own solutions to this.
Mhm.
To me, there's really no excuse at this point that they have not. And again, I'm not going to
Worked
say
on
they
it.
haven't made a priority, because
mean-
Jason said they made it a priority. They just
Couldn't get to
didn't
it.
get to it. They
Mhm.
it just didn't get. They didn't get as far in as they wanted to in 2021, and he apologized for that. That was big on him. He doesn't have to apologize for that, but he did. He apologized personally that they didn't get to it the way they wanted to in 2021. But he said it's
Right.
top of the list in 2022. Okay, great. For me, the DVR and screen sharing, they should have an actual. They should have a simple version that allows people just to share it out easy. It should work.
Yes.
It should be
PlayStation
best
does it.
quality. Yeah, exactly. The best quality possible. And then they should actually go back to having, they used to have back in the day, right? A suite where you could actually process,
Mhm.
videos, and you could clip and do very quick, easy edits, and you
Mhm.
could manipulate and do all. They should go
Montages.
back to having that. Why? Because from a business standpoint, it's a free marketing tool. They have to understand that all the screen sharing of Forza Horizon, all the videos,
Selling the
clips that
game.
people were putting out, was selling the game, man. Yes, streaming does that to a large extent, and streamers.
Not everybody watches.
Not everybody watches, but people do scroll through their Twitter feed, do scroll through their Facebook, whoever's still on Facebook, do look at that stuff, and they come across it and they go, wait, that's a game? I know there were some screenshots from like Wandering Dutch and stuff who do beautiful screenshots of Forza that people stopped and were like, wait, that's a game? That looks real. And then got interested in checking out Forza Horizon 5 a little bit more. I can guarantee you that. It's free advertising, it's free marketing for the company that can't be undersold when it comes to having just an easy tool that everybody, including the masses, can share out. Now, of course, it does allow people to share mistakes. It does allow people to share, bugs in the game as well. But hey, that's a part of it. But at the end of the day, you're getting the word out, because people nowadays love to share their experiences they're having across social media, and make it easy and simple. And even amongst, friends and whatever else, like I can download my pictures from my Xbox, app into my phone, and I can tweet those out, or I can just send them via text messages to friends and family, right? And say, hey, look at this game. I've done it to my dad, because like I said, my dad's in his 70s, but he's still, he's never been a gamer, but he's always been interested in the game industry because he's got his art background. He loves to see where it's going. And when I first had the Series X and I got NBA 2K21 with the series upgrade, I sent him some pictures of Jordan, and I said, Dad, this is in game now, right? I sent them some pictures. I said, this is in game. I
blew his mind.
Details on his hands, and some cool shots of him sticking his tongue out while he's dunking. And that was straight from, I said, this is in game, Dad. This is how far we've come. And he just sent back, and he's like, wow, that's just absolutely amazing. Thank you, for that kind of stuff. But that's the type of just awareness it gives people when you have a simple solution. And again, right now, is it simple? Yeah, it's not bad as far as trying to get through, but the actual app, the Xbox app, needs work, and the actual console needs work. When you go into the screenshots and into the video clips, it's not good. There's a delay. A lot of times the video clips won't play. Yes, it can be dark. That is a problem. It should be really, when I back out of a screenshot, it should not go all the way back to the main screen where I have to go back into those screenshots again and have them reload. That, like, just stupid stuff like that, right? That can be worked on. And I think it'll benefit the company overall. But again, having Jason Ronald as your face of that side of the engineering stuff, and having him out there doing shows like Iron Lords, being on Twitter, being responsive to people, that only helps. Because again, at the end of the day, am I disappointed that after a year console launch, it's still not fixed? Yeah, I am. But when having somebody like Jason Ronald out there alleviates those fears, because again, just like 343, they're not saying, oh, well, too bad, just deal with it. This is the way it's going to be. No. He's saying it's a priority for 2022. I have faith in him and his team for all the work that they've done, incredible things that they're doing, things that other companies refuse to invest in, even to preserve the history of gaming, even to preserve the history of their own company and what they've done. They refuse to do it. And here we do. Here we have Xbox. We have a guy like Jason Ronald, a team underneath him that believes just as much as Phil does in preservation, to do all the work that they've done. I have faith that when he comes out and says they're going to make it a priority and they're going to get it right, that they're going to get it right. They're going to do the right things. Will I still have suggestions as how they could make it better? Sure, I will. But I do have faith that they're going to do it, that it is important to them. So that's the big thing. Love the interview. Again, just a great dude. Go back and watch it. If you guys and gals haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor. It's a great watch. Iron Lords is a great watch.
Yes.
General, if you're not following them and subscribed, I don't know why. Go there for your Sunday entertainment because, man, they start out the morning right. So go there. It's a fun show. It's a great show. But yeah, man, I thought it was an awesome interview. Happy to see it. And I think that they're going to keep working. And I can't wait to see if they can pull off the res boost. They can pull off the res boost and be able to make some of these backwards compatibility titles up res. Dude, that's going to be a moment and a half right there. That's going to be a moment and a half. Some already do. Some they've found ways to do it, but man, that'll be great. Some of the original Xbox titles, I think Mav was telling me, is 4 times the resolution or whatever it was.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, but that's good for gaming. And you know what, Steel? It's even better because you see more people entering the Xbox ecosystem now. We're starting to hear some whispers that the Series S is selling like freaking hotcakes.
Yeah.
Past couple of days, like legit, like out there. We saw some Japanese numbers with Xbox right behind, not big numbers. Neither console sells big numbers, and they're not allocating a lot of stock over there. But to say that Xbox is even within sight of the PlayStation right now is saying a lot over in Japan. As more people get into this ecosystem, I've been seeing more and more people go, and you know what? I didn't really think about it, but backwards compatibility and being able to play my old games is kind of cool. It's for as much as we heard that it wasn't cool to play old games, there's a lot of people out there who like to. And it's kind of awesome to see that happening. People realizing how much work has been putting into it on top of all the cloud stuff, on top of playing wherever you want to play, your saves just being there, you know, the smart delivery, all that kind of stuff that people have now talked about. More and more people are discovering the benefits of all that work that Microsoft, Xbox, Phil, Jason, all the teams put into making this a possibility here and now. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, 100%. I saw Crazy Louie put up a post talking about he just talking about Forza Horizon 5 and people getting bored. Talking about they're bored already and there just seems like there's no progression. Really quickly, it's Forza Horizon. I mean, that's an entire different conversation. As someone who loves the series, I do feel like they need to do better as far as keeping people committed. For me, it's another one of those games to where it doesn't necessarily bother me because I could take that break from Forza and then come back in. And when I take it seriously, I'm playing online against other players. That's what entices me, that I want to get first place in all the races. I want to get first place online. You know, that's what entices me, to be able to get to that point. Now, I know it's different for everybody. From a lot of the things that I was seeing in this article, and this is from purexbox.com, is from when it looks like to me, because people were complaining. One of the guys says in the comments, the progression is the biggest motivation killer for me. I love starting in the VW Corrado and earning my way up from that. This one, like you said, you're drowning in money and cars in literally the open hour. There is zero progression. I see people saying that the progression comes from a massive car collection. That just doesn't tickle my brain the same, sadly. I played about 45 hours. Pop back in once a week or twice a week for an hour, and then I get bored. The terrible social network connection is also a big part for me. Also, people evaporate like Thanos, snapping every minute. Arcade is a ghost town, and no matchmaking is asinine. I love this game, just This one seems as wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle in comparison to Horizon 1 through 3, in my opinion. And I want to read this next post because he brings up some good points. I think there's merit in what you say, right from when you dropped into Mexico and you unlock each series of the festival. It just seems weird to me that in every event in the series is visible, and it doesn't take much to unlock everything neither. You don't even need to finish one series to go on to the next. That kills the feeling of progression since there are no sense of anticipation as to what's next. It essentially feels like you're given everything at once, which in a way you kind of are. I think there's a balance in these kind of games between giving you everything at once and being linear and locking things between a strict progression system. And then he was saying he feels like it's not quite there. This one is the more so the one that I kind of agree with because I can kind of feel it in some moments. It's absolutely the same as Forza Horizon 3 in this. You are just burned because you played for 3 years. Most of what you mentioned is totally identical to Forza Horizon 3. People playing games for years start a new one, which is obvious for starting a new one, which is for obvious reasons, really similar, and they're surprised it's similar. Huh. Well, fuck. You're playing a arcade racer and you're expecting, what are you expecting? Master Chief to drop down out of the air and now you're playing a third person game? Like, look, I understand.
I want the cars to transform and become a Transformer game.
Hey, there you go. The cars can transform and now you got Transformer DLC. That's what they need to do. Like Fuzzy says, and I definitely take Fuzzy's Fuzzy Belvedere. Shout out to him. If you aren't following him on Twitter, definitely follow him. He said Forza Horizon 5 needs work on the arcade participation.
Yeah,
I feel you. There are probably definitely aspects of the game that need that work. And unfortunately, I can't speak on those things because right now, one, I'm playing Halo. Two, when I do end up getting back to Forza, when I do hop on, I'm doing my races to get first place. And then from there, after I get tired of doing that, I play online to do the same thing. I'm racing against other players. And that's something that I've always wanted Forza to kind of get down packed, to get really that racing feel down, like where Fast and the Furious has kind of lost its soul. It's not Fast and the Furious anymore. It's like fast and let's see how quick we can blow shit up. Or, oh, now we're going to go to outer space. Like, what are we doing? It was about racing before and now it's about action adventure. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
You and I had that conversation too.
Yeah, facts. So,
but that's why, but still, that's why it's so big, right? That's why they grew their audience from just car people to more into the tuner scene, to everybody that likes action movies.
Exactly.
Right? That's what they did. Forza Horizon 5, same concept.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it moves.
Exactly. Yeah. Not everybody's going to play a racing game. It just is what it is. Not everybody has that love for it. Not everybody's going to play 2K. Not everybody's going to play Destiny. There's so many games that we can have this conversation about, right? That may not be for you. Every game isn't for every person. Are people going to drop it? Sure. It's always like that. People can drop any other game that you're going to play. And it is what it is. So I don't think this is really something to bat an eye at, really. I mean, again, the fact that the game hit 11 million people, that's another point to quickly touch on, is more so credence to the availability that the game has, right? The accessibility that the game has, right? More so than people spending 40 plus hours in the game. Like, It is what it is.
And that's my whole thing. His comment that I played for 45. Look, you binged a game for 45 hours
and you're bored?
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're going to do that, that means the game is freaking fantastic that you binged it for 45 hours. Forza Horizon 5 is a game that you don't just simply play and then put away. It's a game that you consistently go back to.
Right.
It's the slow burn, like, that's at least that's for me, and it's not for everybody. But what I'm saying is, if you take it like when Forza Horizon drops and you first get into it, it's one of those games. Let's go do it. Let's go do everything. Let's go, everywhere. Let's go check it out. Let's go see what's going on. It is one of those games that you wind up getting sucked into very quickly. But then after that, if you take it as one of those games that you go back to as a palate cleanser from your Halo or from whatever the case may be, one of those games that you just sit down and then start consuming instead of binging, you start consuming in one.
Enjoying it.
Yes, because because of that world being open to you.
Mhm.
Look, you can hop in, fast travel to anywhere, do a race. Do 2 races, whatever the case may be, hop back out again and go back to something else, right? Or you can wind up sitting down for a couple hours and getting some stuff done.
You
It's
never
a
know.
slow burn after that initial rush. That's
Exactly.
what Forza is. And if
Always.
you're not a car person, right? If you're not a car person, I get it that you're not going to be into collect. I'm a car person and I'm not into collecting all the cars.
I'm not either.
I play with my favorites, right?
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm not fuzzy. Fuzzy plays with a lot of different cars. There's a lot of people out there who like to try every single car. That's
Right.
not me. Like, I do have the collector in me, so I do like opening up more cars.
Right,
But
right.
at the same time, it's not a goal of mine to have my garage full because I know I'm only going to play with 2, 3, 4 cars, depending on what type of race I'm playing in.
Right.
That's just who I am. I always go back to the Ferrari. Okay. That's just who I am. Okay. But for everybody out there who just jumped into this franchise first and was like, wow, I'm blown away.
Mhm.
Look, understand that it is one of those games. It just, trust me, go ahead. You binged it. You played 25 hours, you played 45, whatever you did, you binged it. And now you feel yourself kind of getting bored. Trust me, put it away for a while. Go play Halo, go play some other games. You're going to wind up seeing Forza Horizon 5 on your playlist, and you're going to pop back in. And then you're going to understand that that's what it's about.
Right.
You're going to go back to it, and it's going to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's why I enjoyed it. Right?
Bomber brought up a good point. Races are easiest just to go back into because there's nothing you have to relearn or remember the story.
Right, exactly. It's perfect for that. And I think there's just a lot of people out there right now that may be experiencing it. And for people who played Forza Horizon previous, I understand that you can say that it's just kind of the same game. I get that, but it's all the little stuff in Forza Horizon 5 that made it so much bigger.
Feeling.
And trust me, if you've played the old Forza Horizons, then you know that wasn't like a mainline game for you outside of when it first dropped. It never was that for most. I can't say that for everybody. There's people who play Forza Horizon.
For most people, you're accurate. You're
it's
accurate.
never like that, right? It's never like that. It's just that game that consistently stays in your library, and you go back to it over the next whatever it's going to be, 2 years before the next one drops or whatever the case may be. It's just one of those games that's consistently there for you.
Right.
That's the way that Forza Horizon winds up being. For the vast majority of people. And maybe this is the first time experiencing it, but for people who have played Forza Horizon, you should realize this. You should realize by iteration number 5, with nothing major change to the gameplay loop, that's where you're going to wind up being. I mean, it is what it is. That's with any sequel that doesn't change the gameplay loop. That's kind of what you wind up with, right? You're going to have that natural, I've played this before feeling. Yeah. That's not a problem. That's the type of game, but that's what makes the game so great. Step away from it for a while. You'll go back to it and you'll be like, oh, yeah, man, this is why I like it. Just bring a smile. Yeah, it just brings a smile when you get racing. Oh, yeah, this is why. It's just because you binged it so hardcore up front that you got that really overdose feeling like, oh, I just played too much of this. There's nothing else for me to do.
Right.
Get away for a while. You'll come back. Trust me.
And look,
it's there.
It's a perfect. I got 2 perfect examples. I'll lead with these examples, and then I'll get into what Nick said because he made an interesting point, and then we'll work on wrapping everything up for y'all. And along with announcing that final winner for that custom controller, but it's the same kind of way that I felt about Halo. Not really think about it now, or even Gears. We're playing them for so long. When I got to 4 and 5. That's probably why the multiplayer didn't stick for me. 1 through 3, that was my life. You know what I mean? Same thing with Gears. 1 through 3, that was my life. That's what I did. So when it came to 4 and 5, yes, I thoroughly enjoy Gears of War 4. Yeah, and I put a lot of time into it, but I fell off. I started playing other games. Same thing with Halo. 4 and 5 were great, but the multiplayer didn't stick. Now that Infinite's out, it's touching that string that I feel like it hasn't been pulled in a long time.
Right.
And it could be the same thing with Gears. I think them taking this break, along with them putting Xbox on their back for the last fucking, decade, is going to be an amazing thing because it's going to come back out. You're going to have that break and boom, revitalize the genre all over again. It's the same thing for Forza, man. If you're burnt, take a break. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Nick's made a good point, though. He said, sad, we're in the age of disposable gaming. People want to put 60 hours in the first 3 days of having a game and then toss it away and say what's next like an addict.
Yep.
And Nick's, you're 100% right, man. Yeah. People put 100 hours in their first week in the game. They're like, all right, what's next? And then you want to complain about how boring the game is. Right. Nobody told you to binge the fucking game. Like, what? That's a personal problem.
Yep, that was part of that FOMO because you saw everybody talking about it constantly.
Exactly.
You need to be a part of the conversation. So
exactly.
You don't have to do things that way. I mean, again, you do what you want. Just understand the results. Like, just understand personally for you what the end result is going to be if you do that. You'll get that burnout feeling. You get that overdose feeling. Right. It just happens. It's one of those things. It's no big deal. Just know that if you put it down for a while, you can always go back and you'll get that old feeling again. You'll be like, yep, this is what it is. And at that time, you won't binge it again.
Right.
Although I can't say that, but Skyrim was years for me and I'm binging Skyrim basically right now. But but that's different. And Robert Hart made a great point too. The DLC will also hit big. It's been quality since 2. Absolutely. The DLC will respark your interest again, even if you put it down for a long period of time. When that DLC gets ready to drop, you're going to jump right back in and binge the DLC. Right. That's what happens because they do a great job with their DLC as well. So
100%.
Yeah.
Then what else? It looks like Robert Hart says, is there any predictions with the VGAs? We're not going to do our predictions until next weekend because that'll be right before.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
the VGAs.
Good idea.
Because I believe next weekend it'll end up falling. Oh, excuse me. Next weekend will end up falling on the 4th. Which is right there. It looks like the VGAs fall in right in the middle of the week next week. 2 weeks out. So next week we'll probably do all of that, say, hey, this is what we're predicting, this is how we're feeling about it. And then hopefully everything gets back on the ball at that point. With that being said, though, since we are towards the end of the show, again, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to only on Xbox says, don't talk about me like that, Steel. Hey, he said, I put 100 hours into Halo. Hey, but I haven't. Hey, again, man, to each their own. It gets really crazy when people start complaining about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's not enough there. I put 100 hours in the first week. I mean, what do you expect? Like, come on, that's anything that you put if you did that 100 hours into anything. Like, come on. But either way, this next segment that we're going to get into is going to be to wrap the show out. That's going to be the This Day. You're currently muted. There you go.
I'm currently muted. Let me do this real quick. Since I said it in the beginning of the show, just real quick PSA for everybody and anybody listening to this that is playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Let me give you this PSA. I should have done this early in the show, but I'll do it now. Hey, listen. So I'm playing. Got over 100 hours back into Skyrim again. After this last patch that they did, I had seen some rumblings that there was a save issue going on. I didn't dive into it. I didn't look into it because I hadn't experienced any problems. I was like, okay, well, whatever. Maybe some people are having problems. So I didn't really prep. Okay. So here's what happened to me. And I'm just going to throw this out there. If you're playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition at this point, you've got the latest patch downloaded. Be very mindful of your save status. Now, I don't know what triggers this. I don't know. The only thing I know is that I had left to go have some lunch and I left the game on. So my Xbox controller had shut off. My console didn't shut off or anything like that. So I've got it on the internal hard drive. I don't have it on an external. So I've got it on the internal. So I don't know if it screwed up the save state or something. The game was playing normally. It's showing you that it's auto saving. It'll show you that it's quick saving. Okay.
Right.
It'll show you like it's being what it's supposed to be doing. However, I was doing I was doing the college, the Mages College of Winterholm. I was doing their main quest line. Okay. So I was doing I quick save a lot, especially because again, for anybody who doesn't know, I pickpocket a lot in that game and steal a lot in that game. Okay. That's my deal. So I'm constantly quick saving in case it fails. So you can reload the quick save. That's how you do it. Right. So I'm constantly doing that. Well, I was on these big missions, these big long missions, and I wasn't doing that on a consistent basis. So I was not reloading. So I was just doing my normal quick save here and there just to make sure I had a quick save. Something happened. I decided to reload an older save,
Mhm.
and I went into my save files to load, and it was completely blank. Okay. I'm freaking out at this point. It's completely blank. I back out, come back in, nothing. I go back out, I come back into the menu, I do a quick save. It shows me that it's quick saving. It says quick saving. Go back into the load screen, nothing.
Mhm.
I go back in, I go to save and I hit the save button, nothing there to save, no spots. I am devastated. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The game's playing totally normal. Okay.
Right.
Again, no crashing, no nothing. Game's just working flawlessly. I'm like, all right, here we go. So I shut down the Xbox, restart it, come back. I closed out of the game, come back into the game, hit the continue button. It asked me, there is a continue button. So I'm like, well, something's saved. Asked me if I want to continue from my last save. I go, no, I just load.
Mhm.
I go to pick my saves. It had stopped saving 3.5, 4 hours previously.
Goodness
I lost
gracious.
that much time.
Oh God.
All my saves were still there previous, but I had lost 3.5, 4 hours of gameplay time. So
Right.
anybody playing Skyrim Anniversary, anybody here, anybody listening in the future, please keep that in mind with the latest patch. If you are doing that, check your saves. It's a pain, but I got to look into it further, see if they've talked about it, if they're going to do another patch or if anybody else has found a workaround. But just check your saves. Now, I was going to put the game away. I put the game away for a few days. And I said, I'm not going back to it. I was mad. I was like, I'm not going to go back to it for a while. Well, yesterday I got done playing Halo. I got done playing Battlefield, and I was like looking through my list of games that I want to play. And I was like, all right, I'll hop back into Skyrim. Might as well just get myself back to the point I was.
Right.
So I popped it back in and replayed through it, but I was constantly going in and double checking. Now it didn't happen once yesterday. Yeah, it's paranoid completely, but it didn't happen to me yesterday through, I think I played for, I think Steel. Let's see, you got home at 9. I was talking to you playing it. So I probably spent 5 hours yesterday getting up to the point where I had been and then finishing off the mission. And I didn't have one problem during that whole time. So, but just be aware of it. Little PSA for everybody out there playing Skyrim Anniversary. There seems to be a bug with the saves. So just be mindful of that.
100%. 100%. Definitely. I saw somebody bring up that seems to be the new type of bug in games now, where that save status gets corrupted or doesn't save or whatever the case might be. It's really weird, man. Like, it's crazy to see the kind of bugs and that kind of different things that we're running into that may have not been a problem at one point, and now it's becoming an issue again. And then I know and it's also crazy at the same time because it's amazing that, especially with Xbox doing the whole cloud saves thing, that we've been able to carry over our saves for so long. So now it's like when our saves get affected, you're like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So,
and Doom, I was doing that. Yes, I am the old school player. You and I are on the same page with RPGs, save and save often. I was doing that, which it just showed that it was doing it normally. Like in Skyrim, every door that you go through, if you load into a new area, it auto saves, right? So there's always a constant save plus quick save. I use too. Plus I would do manual saves on a regular basis. However, when I was running the big missions, everything was showing that it was doing it normal. I was quick saving. The system was auto saving supposedly through that entire process. I didn't do a long form save, and it wasn't there, right? So the game was running normal. But yes, I am total agreement, Doom. That comes from the old school RPG days, man, where you just save. You just constantly save files, 100 long, right? 100 different saves. You should see my Cyberpunk save.
Oh God, there you go. I'm the guy that just drops his auto save on this most recent save.
Constant, man. That's
awesome. Oh goodness gracious, that's funny. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to keep you here any longer. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into this day in gaming segment. We're gonna go ahead and get it knocked out so we can get you lovely people up on out of here. But before we do that, I do want to go ahead, and I know I was gonna do it opposite, but I'll go ahead. For those who want to stick around, perfect. You want to listen to this day in gaming segment, perfect. But I do want to go ahead and announce the winner of the custom PS5 or series controller. Again, thank you for the support. Thank you for, joining us on this journey. Shout out to Dutch. Thank you for everything that you've done. Just in the background, the support, the whole midweek mix-up collective, and what y'all constantly do with supporting us. And I have to go ahead and roll it now. I got to get a drum roll noise in here. So at some point, ladies and gentlemen, as more and more we start doing these giveaways. But the winner is Scott Ward.
Scott Ward, come on down. You're the winner of a fantastic controller.
And that is at Hey It's Me _Scott on Twitter, it looks like. Hey, Scott, you are the winner. This one, this isn't one of those to where, you had to be here. That's another thing. This is just something that Dutch has kind of established in the background with us and everything.
Shout out to Dutch. He's in the chat right now.
Shout out to Dutch. He is in the chat. Lovely dude, man. Again,
much love, brother.
One of the greater creatives. Shout out to us. Shout out to you, Scott. Definitely, we're gonna get in contact with you. Dutch is probably gonna get in contact with you also, but we'll get in contact with you. In the meantime, between time, probably sometime after the show, and let you know that you've won and everything, and then get you in contact with Dutch, and then we can handle everything from there. Again, Wandering Dutch, nothing but love. It wasn't something that you had to do, but you said, hey, you would do it after we hit 401, and we're at 409 now, and steady climbing. So again, much love to everything that you have done for us, and hey, Scott. Hopefully you get that custom controller that you can frame and tell your buddies and everybody, hey, this guy Wandering Dutch, he makes some amazing shit. Get some money rolling Dutch's way for sure. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into your This Day in Gaming segment. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So This Day in Gaming goes back at least 30 years. Most of the time at max 30 years within the last 3 decades of gaming, just to basically not only reminisce, but to kind of show where we've kind of come from over the years. Remember where you came from, so help recognize where you're at today. So, with that being said,
and make me feel old,
and make Pong feel old. That's the other point. I don't say that. No,
I remind you every week.
No, you do, and
I won't stop.
And I'm
people
pretty
are probably sick of it, but I don't care.
I'm pretty sure the people love it. All right, in 1988, they had, we're starting early this time, on the Genesis, you had Altered Beast in Japan. Actually, it was a good game. I remember playing that game, actually.
Altered Beast is amazing.
Then in 1993, Super Nintendo released Illusion of Gaia in Japan. Not familiar with that title. 97, Super Nintendo released Kirby's Dream Land 3. Hey, Kirby's a pretty great character.
Shout out to Kirby.
98, the Dreamcast released the Dreamcast in Japan. Hey,
best console ever made. $99.99.
That's crazy. That is so crazy to think about. That is fucking insane that the Dreamcast is that old. I remember having a Dream. Oh my god, amazing console. 2003, PlayStation 2 released Fatal Frame 2: Crimson Butterfly in Japan. They also released on PlayStation 2 Hot Shots Golf 4. Not Hot Wheels. They released that in Japan, and then they also released on PlayStation 2 Wild Arms Alter Code F in Japan.
Ooh,
then, yeah, I heard Wild Arms is pretty decent.
Yep.
Then in 2004, PlayStation 2 released Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King in Japan. So it seems like you got a lot of Japan releases this day in gaming. Yeah. Interesting. 2008, PSP released Kinka Bancho Badass Rumble in Japan. Then they also released Patapon 2 in Japan. Don't know what that is. But then the DS released Professor Layton in the Unwound Future. Professor Layton sounds familiar.
Yep. Puzzler kind of game.
Why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Xbox 360 released Record of Agarist War in Japan.
Yeah, I almost just had that game, man. I almost bought that game, and somebody bought it from underneath me. I was so mad.
Damn.
Good. It's a good RPG, man.
Oh,
Great
damn.
RPG.
Okay, word. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Then the Wii released Rune Factory Frontier in Japan. PSP released Warriors Orochi 2 in Japan. And another Warriors Orochi is a good game. Good games. PSP released Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters GX Tag Force 3 in Japan. Also, 2009, PlayStation 2 released Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 5. That was a good game, actually. Really good game. 2012, PlayStation 3 released Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault. You want to talk about a series that's had fucking 50 games. I know people like to always bring that up in conversation. Oh, this is like the 10th game, 5th game in the series. Oh, but this other game has had 60 games, and it's okay. That's neither here or there. I'm also just not the biggest Ratchet & Clank fan. It is what it is. But they released that, and then they also released PlayStation 3 Sonic the Fighters. I saw some gameplay of that, and it actually looked really interesting. Not my type of Sonic game. I don't know. Sonic Fighter game is really weird, but hey, to each their own. Then in 2014, the 3DS released Etrian Odyssey 2 Untold.
Awesome.
The Fafnir Knight.
Awesome games. Etrian Odyssey is your old corridor style RPG.
Ah, okay.
Like your Might Magics back in the day.
Okay. Hey.
That 3D modeled corridor stuff. Yeah. Awesome
Nice.
games. When my kiddo had the 3DS, I did pick one up so I could try it out. Really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation 3 released in 2014 Resident Evil HD Remaster in Japan. Then in 2018, PlayStation 4 released Darksiders 3 and Red Dead Online. But so did the Xbox One. They also released Red Dead Online. It's kind of been up and down. Darksiders 3 was a good game. I still need to go back and fully finish that up. It's a game that I started. I hadn't gone back to at this point. And then Red Dead Online. I'm just not a Red Dead.
I thought that was going to be the one that grabbed me, man. I thought that was going to be my Grand Theft Auto because I love Western style, but because I like their first
Right.
Red Dead.
I did too.
When they went to online, it was fun.
Yeah.
Like that was fun.
Yeah.
I thought this one they were going to nail because they learned so much from Grand Theft Auto Online.
Oh. No, and it is what it is. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I didn't put enough time into it. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 just didn't grab me like that. In the first, I think, I'm somewhere between 20 and 40 hours in the game, and I don't have any interest in going back. Again, it didn't pull me as hard as Red Dead Redemption 1 did.
Yeah.
And I loved that fucking game. That fucking game was amazing.
Top 10 for me.
Start to finish was an amazing game.
Yep, I 100%ed that one.
And that's why I was hype about 2, but it just didn't. I know it hits different for different people.
It's
I know
good.
People have said, hey, well, you got to get past a certain. I hate games that do that. That's like Final Fantasy 14. People are like, oh, after the first 100 hours, it's slow for the first 100 hours. Well, what the fuck makes you think I want to spend 100 hours being slow?
I just like Marsden better. Marsden, I like Marsden.
Yeah,
Marsden was so good.
That's probably what it had a real effect on it too, though.
Yeah.
Then in 2019, Android released Disgaea RPG in Japan.
Disgaea's been everywhere. I love Disgaea. God,
everywhere.
it needs to be on Xbox.
And then PC released SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays. I'm unfamiliar with that title. But with that being said, that is your This Day in Gaming roundup. Again, gaming is art, should be treated as such, and we just want the people to be able to recognize that also. With that being said, I'm getting hungry, and it's almost getting towards that time. We got to get some game time in at some point today. It's an off day.
Leftovers are calling me again.
Leftovers are calling me, but I think I'm going to pick something up. I'm going to leave leftovers for dinner so I can eat them for dinner for the next couple of nights. Again, those juices, you let it sit in there for a couple extra days. I don't know what it is, man. It just hits different. But
it does.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here today on a Saturday where we go live every 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. UK time with Living Splitscreen. With that being said, I also want to shout out to our winners again. That is the Power of Metal, otherwise known as Power Metal X777 on Twitter. And he is the winner of that $75 Xbox gift card. Again, if you don't hit us up by Monday, man, we're going to re-roll the names. Again, we want to definitely give it out to somebody who's been tuning in, who's been paying attention, who's been showing love. Again, it is based off the people who retweeted that original post. So definitely keep that in mind. But we will just keep re-rolling if we have to. Hey, so if anybody's a friend of Power of Metal, you better tell that man. Yeah, $75 waiting on him. And then also Scott Board, aka Hey, it's me, Scott, on Twitter. Hey, man. If you're hearing this, hit us up. If not, we're definitely going to hit you up some point after the show. I'll hit you up in the DMs, let you know, hey, get in contact with Dutch so we can see about getting that custom controller to you of your choice of PS5 or a series controller. But with that being said, I am Steel Rain. I still reign. I everywhere. The T is a 7. You can find me here every Saturday morning with my brother from another Pong Soul. And other than that, anywhere that you can type into a search bar, type that in. I still reign. I everywhere. T is a 7, and you will find me. It doesn't matter what console, doesn't matter what platform, doesn't matter what ecosystem. 9 times out of 10, that is how you will find me. Again, chat, y'all have been amazing. Y'all are some of the greatest and magnificent people that I could ask for in a chat. Y'all are here on a week-to-week basis. Y'all constantly having that conversation. No better feeling than seeing that chat move, just because y'all are going back and forth, not only with each other, but also engaging in the conversation that me and Pong are having. Also, mine and Pong DMs are open, man. If y'all want to talk about something, want to hit us up, say, hey, you guys are trash, or say, hey, did you guys think about doing some of these things maybe a little bit differently? Again, let us know. One of the number one reasons why we pulled away from Discord was because the homie Matt Barnes said, yo, there's so much lag between y'all talking and what's displayed on video. And I said, you know what, let me do something different. So we started using Zoom, and it doesn't look like we've had any problems since. And it seems like we also get good clarity. I've listened to us on the audio platforms. Again, we are on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google, wherever you get your podcast feeds at. We are there also. Just look us up, Living Splitscreen. And we sound real good on there, real crispy, real clean. But Pong, brother from another, the uncanny gentleman himself, man, I know it's been a week. It's been kind of a slow week, but we still managed to do another 3 hours, over 3 hour show. We were kind of like, crazy. Oh man, we're going to have a short show tomorrow. We were all over that. But again, more passion, more of that live, raw, and uncut energy that we constantly bring in here. Lead the people to victory, man. Let them know where they can find you.
Absolutely. First of all, any criticism, DM Steel directly. Any praise, you can go ahead and send me the DMs. Okay. So just to make that clear. No, I'm just joking with you. Of course, DMs are always open.
Right.
People hit us up as always, but look, great episode, Steel. Yeah. We didn't think we were going to be able to do 3 hours today or know if we were going to get there. We did it. We did more than that. So as always, episode 35 has been fantastic. Great Halo discussion. I think we nailed it. All the points. Congratulations to the winners of the contest. Again, shout out to Country Gentleman Gaming on Twitter.
Follow him,
Gentleman_gaming. Go follow him. Just an awesome member of the community. Super supportive. Dude is just a bright spot. So just go check him out as well. But shout out to him. Shout out to Wandering Dutch, Midweek Mix-Up Collective. Guys, brothers, you guys are all amazing over there. Dutch, thank you so much for the contest you did.
100%.
We are at 400. On our way to 1,000. No, that was out of the blue. Dutch just came out of the blue with that early on when we started podcasting. So love you all. Chat, you guys were absolutely incredible today. Thanks for coming and spending us. It's a vacation time for a lot of people. We know not a lot of people took shows off this week. So thank you for coming and joining us. We just thought we'd still go. It was past Black Friday, past Thanksgiving. Why not do a Saturday show? Steel and I have not had a chance to talk much this week. We always use this time right here to do so and have all of you come join us. So we love you all. Nothing but respect for each and every week that you come out and see us. Pong Soul, you know the drill. Xbox, Twitter, follow me, follow you back, whatever the case may be. Ultra busy real life going on as always, but just ramping up more and more. So I haven't been around as much as I'd like to be. I'd like to make more posts. I'd like to do more things. It just, again, work is work, man. You got to pay the bills. So it is what it is, but nothing but love. Follow me there. Otherwise, this coming week, I will be back on Xbox Factor podcast on Tuesday. No shop podcast tonight, by the way. PTK put that out. he's taking a break too. So no shop podcasts at all. But Tuesday, Xbox Factor, Mr. Boomstick, Double Barrel Gaming. He was in here earlier. Shout out to Boom. Demi Games, Archimedes, Mav, 3-Bit when he's available. Myself, Tuesdays, Xbox, all the time, all day. Speculation Town is wide open for business there. So come check us out Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Thursday, PM in the PM, we'll be back. Pong and Mav in the PM. Again, 2-person format like you get here with me and Steel, my brother. Mav just wanted to get that kind of flavor going over there as well. So him and I are going to discuss 1, 2, maybe 3 topics for a couple hours. Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. And then Fridays back over there again on Fun Speculations channel for Xbox Ultimate and the Magnificent 7. Come see us. We're just a good time. It's relaxed. It's a madhouse. We go left a lot. We have crazy discussions, things that some people don't even want to hear about. We talk about. So guess what? Just come over there. Xbox Ultimate, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Otherwise, back here next Saturday, like Steele said, Living Split Screen, episode 36 is going to go down. You know, we'll go for 3 hours plus. If we can do it this week, we can do it any week. So come check us out. But no, you know what? Golden age of gaming. Don't forget it. That's why we have so much to talk about right now. It's the golden age of gaming. Just go play what you love what you play. Talk to you real soon. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy leftovers if you have them. Man, just get out there. Just have fun. Smile a little bit. Worry about the nonsense, man. Just put that aside. Just enjoy gaming for what it is, a hobby that gives us nothing but laughter, or at least should. Laughter and good memories. So that's all I got to say. Steel, take the people home. Let's get out of here, man.
Excellent. Beautiful people. You gotta love it, man. Again, thank you for joining me and Pong on this journey. Again, if we didn't love doing this, we wouldn't be doing it. It's the passion that drives us. It's the dedication that drives us. It's the energy that drives us. I feel like it's many of those things that sets us apart from a lot of the other people in the community, a lot of the people that are on the YouTube scene, the way that we talk about it, the energy that we bring, and just our ability to take that real-time strategy, that RTS view, and really pull ourselves back from the world to look at those darker places that may have not been discovered yet and try to hit it from a different angle. I feel like it's extremely important. Again, it's about the bigger picture, potentially hitting that 3 billion gamers at some point. Even if we only touch 1 million, man, I feel like that would be an amazing thing in itself. But we're here for the ride, and hopefully you guys can join us for the journey every step of the way. Much love. Y'all stay easy. Keep it live,
real quick.
bro.
Here, cool. Real quick, Steel. Real quick. Gentleman Gaming that I was just talking about, that we just give props to, who's doing these contests. Look, he's got another contest up. Just a general contest for Ultimate Game Pass Ultimate 3-month giveaway. All you got to do is just go retweet it. Ends December 1st. So go check him out. Gentleman_gaming at gentleman_gaming. Gentleman, not men. Gentleman_gaming. Go check him out. Dude's incredible.
100%. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, keep it live, raw, and uncut. Like my brother Pong Soul says, play what you love what you play. This is the golden age of gaming, the age of accessibility, as I like to call it. And other than that, we'll catch y'all next week right here, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. UK time with Living Split Screen. Much love. Y'all stay easy. Catch y'all gaming. Peace.